Welcome, everybody, to our latest episode of 6 on 6, the Winners Edition, because we have some winners on your screen. The Munich Major winning M80 team is joining us. -1 player. Diffuser is not feeling particularly well, so he's not on the show today, unfortunately. We are hopeful that his stomach feels a little bit better and that he's able to join us for future episodes, whether you guys win again, which I assume is the plan, or we just bring him on just for funsies. For those of you that don't know the lineup, we've got Coach Fabian, we've got Gavin, we've got Hotancold, we've got Kyno, and we've got Gunnar all joining us. Some of you have been on this show before. The last time we brought on a winning team was with Beast Coast when Fett joined as just a coach. And now he is the co-host. First and foremost, welcome everybody. How does it feel to be winners? Fabian, I'm going to start with you last. Gunnar, why don't you take the lead here? How does it feel to win again?
I mean, it feels great. Like, I don't know. Like, there's something more fun than like playing in a grand final on stage in front of people. Like, it's just like doing one of the most fun things you could ever do. So to do it more than once, it's like pretty crazy.
I'm going to jump immediately to Kyno because Kyno was the only player that wasn't a part of that original core that won back in Manchester. Kyno, for you, I'm sure this feels mighty good. It's been a long time coming with how long you've been around in the league. You finally got the job done. What was going through your mind, which I know is an awful question to ask, but everybody has to ask it. What was going through your mind when you won that final round and got to be moments away from lifting that trophy?
Honestly, I was just glad that I had Sean there to carry me.
Fair.
He was there the first time, so I had to make sure he was on my team this time. But it feels good. Felt good. The feeling's definitely already over. Like 2 days later, it was like, damn, like that was good, but now what? Yeah.
Dang.
SI, presumably?
Yeah. There's that. That sounds fun.
Philly.
True. The NA League finals are coming up in just a couple weeks' time. I think the first match is actually on Saturday. At least that's what my contract says. So
Tomorrow.
that is yeah. This episode will actually come out on, I'm assuming, Sunday, maybe even Monday. So the Saturday games will be in the past. So we are technically in the future right now, and we'll be in the past in just a couple days. I'm going to be talking a little bit less this episode because both Fett and Mint have a much stronger connection to you guys than I do. And I think it would be remiss for me to take over the discussion when it would be far more meaningful for two guys who have teamed and played with you before to not be given that full stage. So Kyle, Eric, I don't know which one of you want to lead off here. I do want to talk to all the players. Kyle wants to go first. So please run the show.
Oh, I don't know about running the show, but I definitely have a question that if it gets taken, I might be very quiet over here. So, what I'm kind of curious, a lot of you, I mean, this is your second major, Fabian. This is your, I don't know, 20th at this point.
Something like that.
Something like that, right? Kyno, it's your first. But what does practice look like after winning the major? Like, how fast did you guys kind of get back into it? What's kind of the process of that? I mean, myself,
Oh, brother.
I've only won one major, but afterwards it was like job was done, the Kobe meme, right? And it was like we're off the gas pedal. We ended up going through roster changes, trying to fix that and everything. You guys now winning multiple majors. What does it kind of look like? Yeah, getting back into practice so that doesn't happen, because you obviously, I mean, Matt's saying it right there. You got Philly coming up. You got SI coming up.
You guys want me to answer it? Or
It's just a rough. It's a different kind of scenario just because of the patches. But you can go ahead, Fabian. Explain it.
So basically, I think we took a little bit too long off. We left Monday, obviously, but it takes a while for the US guys to fly home. For me, it was only an hour flight, so for me, I was back home quickly. But we took off from the Monday, which obviously travels, so they land somewhere around Tuesday, and then until the Sunday. And in my mind, that's a little bit too long with how much events we have coming up. We also actually have 3 guys, I think, in our team going away to Japan, which I absolutely despise, but it's their choice. That was booked before I was even part of the team. But we're gonna be having a little bit too much time off for my taste. But then most of the days we actually work. I think we work probably one of the hardest schedules in all of North America right now. Maybe not this week because obviously the teams that are playing the tournament in Philly, they want to practice live build. But for us, that doesn't matter. Let's be completely blunt. NA finals doesn't matter for us. It just doesn't. That's not our goal. I don't give a shit if we win it or if we don't. It's just like it's a good match practice. That's that. But in the end, we have to practice for SI, and we already have the points. We already have the qualifications. Sure, champions of NA would be nice, but we're already fucking major champions. So who gives a shit? But yeah, 2 days, two blocks a day most days. Some theory sprinkled in here and there. There will be some meta changes, I think, with the patches that's coming up. So we kind of have to explore that first. Like it's not going to be like, oh, yeah, you just talk about everything and figure it out. You just have to practice and play. So there will be some meta changes, but say that we work on average 8 hours a day, maybe 9. Depends on how much we need to do. So it's a bit of pick and mix. But then we have a long boot camp coming up as well for SI. That's going to be probably I don't know how long were we gone, guys? Was it 2 weeks for you guys and like 12 days for me because you guys had to travel so far?
For the boot camp? I
Yeah.
think it's like 14 days, yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
14.
So we have really long boot camp, but it's not just like hardcore game because I think that kind of breaks a team apart if you just grind too hard. You have to do fun stuff as well, and that's why it's easy. Like I took them to my hometown before this event, and we're doing that again for SI. So we have like time to do fun stuff. Like we're gonna go out snowmobiling. We might even go skiing and stuff like this if people want to. We can go ice skating on the sea. So it's like there's plenty of things to do where we enjoy the moment, and we eat well, we have good sleeping situations, so it's just a lot of preparation goes into those things. But practice week is just we work 6 days a week, 2 practice blocks a day, some days half days, but not that often. So it's a long schedule.
Okay, so just
Yeah.
kind of like right back into the culture, would you say?
Yeah. No, I mean
basically?
the thing is, like, being a champion, you're a champion for that evening. The next day you're no longer the champion, and people can tell me whatever they want to, but if you stop working your ass off, you are going to fall off. Simple as that.
Sorry, did I cut you off, Gunnar?
No, I was just saying, like, to build on what Fabian said, like, coming back from this event was probably the weirdest it's ever been, though, because of, like, the massive split in teams. The regional finals that teams have to win, so they have to play the old build. And then the little bit of teams that aren't playing the new build. And the both game, it's not even like this. It is the same game, but a little bit not. Like, there's a lot of different, with the mute stuff. Grimm's like insane. Just all that stuff. So it's kind of like we had to make a decision of, are we scrimming for regional finals? Are we scrimming for invite? We don't want to have any, because there is that trip coming up. We don't want to be behind for invite. So we're just only scrimming TTS. And so it's like, it's hard to get the 2-block, 8-hour shift in when the only teams scrimming TTS are what? Envy and Cloud9? Like,
I mean, yeah, that's why we practice both Brazilian teams and European teams, so we can
Yeah.
get in the hours on TTS.
200 ping scrims. They've been fun.
yeah, I scrimmed on 200 ping. That was awesome.
But
Is that-
it's not about that, right? I think
Yeah.
it's about learning the game. So
Yeah,
it's something we just have to sacrifice.
I would say the same thing as a coach, but to the players, I mean, that's got to be better than scrimming like T3 NA, right?
No, we don't even.
Yeah.
touch T- we don't
Or
touch
Yeah,
T2 or whoever the heck is
definitely is.
scrimming at that point. Okay.
I guess like my main question, it's kind of like abstract. It's like, so for people who don't know like what happens in competition, I think it's like very hard to get over that. I don't know how to explain it. I'm gonna say this really bluntly. I don't mean it like targeting you guys, but like the complacency phase, like after you win something, right? And that's why so many champions in esports are one-time champions. It's so rare to see like the 2 times, the multiple times like you guys have done. I know you guys experienced this last time because I know I fucking experienced it last time. What are the plans this time to kind of prevent that?
I mean, you kind of said it, like we experienced it. So I feel like it's easier for us not to go into that again.
Mhm.
Maybe Kyno will because he's complacent, but
He was complacent before winning, to be fair.
no, I mean I feel like it's just you don't really change anything. You just keep doing what you were doing before, and then the results will come. Or at least they should come at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Don't change anything. Don't let off the gas. Just keep going.
And I remember, I'm surprised. So you said double block scrims because I remember like back Fabian, I watched you. I watched your scrim message come through when you were on PSG, and I like I saw like triple blocks being booked. I was like, holy fucking
Yeah.
shit! Do you guys also do triple blocks when it's like boot camp time when it's crunch time or no?
No, but with PSG it was a special situation, right? The practice culture in APAC is absolutely terrible. So if we were able to get 2 double blocks and then add 2 more maps, or well, even sometimes we would play. Okay, we'll play 2 blocks and then we'll play until you guys are too tired to play anymore. But that's not the necessity on these guys, because the teams in, well, first of all, tier 2 they still exist here, but in Korea and Japan, those teams, there are no teams, right? Like you can practice X Bleeds or Weibo, you can practice the Aussies, but then you're sitting there on 150 ping, so it's not great. You can practice some Japanese teams, but then Fox FearX won't practice them because regional rivalry, right? So it's kind of like there was no options. But yeah, they were also let's be real, they were kind of terrible. So that all practice they could get would be good practice. So those 2 weeks or 1.5 weeks that we had in a bigger region, we would use that to the absolute max. And then yeah, I might be pushing them a little bit too hard, but with this team, it's not so much me having to push them and tell everyone what to do, because they're smart enough to do that in this team. So it's more so create a culture that we all uphold. That's like where the final line is drawn, and hold ourselves accountable and to a higher standard than anyone else. And as long as we keep doing that every single day, as Matt said, we don't need to change stuff. It's do the same thing and just keep working. Because as soon as you stop, well, you'll be gone for.
Yeah, I want to. Sorry, Parker. I saw your mouth move.
We do need to get the ad reads in, so let me jump right in right now, because I was going to say we've heard a lot from Mint. What about Mint Mobile as our first sponsor for today's show? With the holidays coming up, you're probably wondering, what can I get my family? What can I get my friends? Maybe what can I get myself? A little bit of a treat. Can't really put it under the tree, but you can put it in your pocket. Because while most holiday gifts end up in a drawer or the back of your closet or left at your cousin's house, not this one. Mint Mobile is offering unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. That's their best deal of the year and the only holiday gift you'll actually use every single day. And yes, we've joked about it a bunch of times. We have somebody on this podcast named Mint who also uses Mint Mobile, and he speaks very, very highly of it. I am not able to use it up here in Canada, but I would switch to it because I've only heard good things, and my partner, some of her family uses it as well. You can get 3, 6, or 12-month plans, unlimited plans for $15 a month. All of it comes with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text on America's largest 5G network. I need to clarify because I said nations last time, and it's not true for those of us here in Canada or elsewhere. And you can bring your current phone, your current number, and there's no contracts and no nonsense. So don't get them socks, get them premium wireless for $15 a month. Shop Mint unlimited plans at mintmobile.com/6SIX. That's mintmobile.com/6SIX. And this is a limited time offer. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12 months. Plan required. That's $15 a month equivalent. Taxes and fees. Extra initial plan term only after you reach 35 gigabytes of data used. It may slow down when the network is busy. Capable devices required. Ability, speed, coverage varies. See mintmobile.com. All right. Sorry, we need to get the ad reads in. So back to you guys talking about scrims.
I just wanted to ask about like the I think you guys accomplished one of the most impressive things in order to win this major, which is like build one of the strongest mental resiliences I've ever seen on any team ever. Like I want to go through kind of the storyline on C9 BC and then that first stage of not qualifying for EWC, where basically both of those events you failed to qualify for by throwing like 3 4v2s in a row, right? And then at the event itself, every single series was like you would start off that first map just asleep and just get doggy railed, and then you would still on the next couple of maps lose what I would call game ending rounds, where it's like you lose the most, like the largest throw of all time, and it's like, okay, typically any other team you watch them, they're like, okay, they lost the game off that because they're so chalk, but you guys came through back through all of that. What's like the mentality you guys built over time and how you learn to deal with like the heavy tilting rounds, the throws, the setbacks, and like the the stress honestly over games to let you guys persevere through that?
I feel like it's easier in matches because we're just like way less of a bitchy team. Like in scrims, I feel like we've kind of like we magnify the complaining and bitchiness more so. So like, after rounds we're just talking about it, complaining, but like in matches, that's really not there. So it's easier to move on from it. I mean, we've always been a map to map, like mindset team. Sometimes rounds can carry over. I mean that happens to every team, I feel like, but we're always a map to map dependent team. Like if we get 7-0'd on a map, we could come back and 7-0 the next map. I mean, that's just how it is.
Even in the middle of the map, it's easy to stay in it if you're that confident on your team. I feel like we built that trust throughout the time that we're so confident in each other and in ourselves that we could be in any scenario and we're still like fighting for it.
And to build on top of that, we have the accountability in this team. It's something we work quite a lot on, owning our mistakes and owning our issues. And I think like long term, if we look at all the players since just I joined, the only player I haven't actually seen a change in is Gav, because like what's going on inside there, not much. But everyone else has developed as humans and as teammates quite massively, especially the two biggest whiny little bitches, which was Matt and Sean. They would literally go at people's throats and be pissy with everyone, and that's not the case anymore. So it's been a human development over, well, 8 months now that I've been, well, 9 months. I don't know exactly how long it's been, but it's been a human development that I think is something a lot of teams miss out on, and people allow the big stars or big names or whatever you want to call them to kind of just run their show. But I think that it's not just like me saying that, oh, you need to do this and you need to do that. It's again, it comes back to the team culture that we built the first week of this team, where we basically sat down and we talked about all the important things of our team and what we believe in as a group. And then together we put together a document. Actually, I'm might be able to send you guys that. Well, we'll see. I'll see if I can find it quickly. But it's because I think it's something important, and I don't mind sharing it because I don't think that it's too important to keep a secret, because I think that this is what every level professional team at our level will do. But it's about the pillars of what our team believes in and how we hold ourselves accountable and what we do together. I have it here. I'm going to download it as a PDF and I'm going to send it to you guys.
Yeah,
It should be prepared.
while you're sending that, I want to build off on that because I remember talking to you at Reload and interviewing about the team, and you again mentioning, you showed me this document and you mentioned how important it was that like the first thing you did was set the team culture. And I think like every time like a new prospect comes up in my stream, I'm always like, it doesn't matter how mechanically nasty they are, it doesn't matter if they don't have professionalism. And I don't think people understand like the true definition of that word, or like how far it can go, if that makes sense. You know, like, because I remember you mentioning that word a lot in terms of like how much that determines like the success for your teams. Do you want to kind of define for the viewers out there what truly professionalism means? Because I think to them it's like, oh yeah, you show up on time, like that's it. But it's like, I know, everyone knows, it goes so much further than that.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of stuff. If you guys want to show the document to the in the video or whatever, how you want to do it, that's up to you guys first of all. But it goes like everything connects to how you build a team culture, and it's not just, again, it's not just me saying that these are the important things. Yeah, sure, I would give questions that would lead to answers, maybe some answers that I was looking for, but also answers that would be something that everyone in the team would basically want to have inside of a group. And I mean, a lot of it comes down to being there on time and doing these small things, like for example, like you respect each other. I've seen some video I saw just yesterday. I don't know if you guys saw this clip as well, but it kind of went big on Esports Twitter. It was FlyQuest's League of Legends team. One of their like players called, they were at Worlds, and one of them called his teammates NPCs. It's like the respect is just not there. Like, you need to respect each other, but at the same time as you respect each other, that means that it's not just about talking nicely to each other. It's like if Matt fucks up and Sean gets at him, okay, that might be too far. But it's also if Matt then respects his teammates enough, he will own that issue that he made or the mistake that he made, and he will say to the team, I messed up. And it just goes like, it's a level of respect towards each other and like professionalism that comes with the accountability and the responsibility that we go back to. And I think one thing as well as it did in esports especially is that there's fucking zero trust between people in teams. I think that trust is like the big one that Leo mentioned earlier, but it's like, I know, and I mean, Mint and Fat, you guys have both been in teams, so you know a lot of roster moves and a lot of like these talks, they go on behind people's back. They just do. That's just how esports as in general has always been. But that's fucking unacceptable in our group. Like that.
Most.
Well, most, but
Most.
95%, or if not more than that, will be like this. There is no fucking shit behind people's back. If you have an issue with someone, you bring it up to their face, and then you give them time to change and improve. You don't just fuck them over, go home behind people's back, because how will they, number one, improve as a player? How will they ever trust you as a teammate? And how will a new guy trust you as a teammate if everything is done behind back? It doesn't work.
Yeah.
So it's there's so many things that go into it, and genuinely, you can literally go to ChatGPT and write in what makes for good teammates, and there you will probably have the answer. And people won't even give a crap because people's egos take over. And you're allowed to have an ego in a team, sure, but not towards your teammates. Towards anyone else, you can have as big of an ego as you want. But the second that you talk back to me or you don't respect my word, even if we can disagree, which is more than fine, disagreeing is more than okay. But if you don't respect what I say and you don't listen to it, then you can go fuck yourself.
This only works on some teams with some rosters, though, right? Like you acknowledge
No.
this is. You think it works all the time?
Yeah. If you have the right team culture built up from the ground going, it does not matter who you are. But the problem is not the team culture, it's the individuals. And it's not the team culture being wrong, it's the individuals being wrong, and they need work on themselves.
So, I mean, the reason why I bring this up is there's a long laundry list of teams in Siege that took that same attitude, where it's like we talk about things in the open, et cetera, and all it takes is one player feeling like their ego's too big, or they're doing better, or there's a weak link on the team, and then they go behind people's back, and then somebody goes to them directly about something, and then they mentally implode, and then the whole team fractures. I have never been a player like you. I have never been a coach like you. I've never won anything like you. So I don't have the same experience to stand on. But we have seen teams try to practice what you're preaching and blow up because some
They're doing
people
it
just
wrong.
cannot take criticism head on. And they're still talented players. They're still very good players, and they can still add an awful lot to the team. It's just a matter of that level of directness and that level of like almost like conflict just doesn't vibe with them. And they can still go off to another roster and have a different relationship with their coach or their other teammates and still win something. It's just I hesitate a little bit to say that always tackling things head on directly and hashing things out in the open always works, because I know from my experiences in just regular jobs, there are lots of people who crumble and you can still get a lot out of them. You just need to be a little bit more delicate with how you approach it. Maybe sometimes you take those conversations, as the dreaded office lingo would say, take those conversations offline, not have it in front of everybody.
I think that if that's the sort of problem you have as a player, then you're not going to make it no matter what.
I agree.
I also kind of think I think Siege has a problem with coaching in general. I don't think a lot of players actually have like the respect for like the coach being a leader. And like I fell victim to that, like where I just felt like my coach wasn't even like where I was, and it's just like with Fabian, I think the biggest like shift was like I know I could Fabian's there for me. I know if I need to go to him, I can go to him. But I also know Fabian, like it's not like he's my best friend. Like that's like my coach, and like he's gonna fucking go off on me if I fuck up. He's not gonna like I'm not like his boy. Like I'm not like his like you know what I mean. And like obviously it's easier to have respect for Fabian when he's won everything there is to possibly win, and like but I think that case is a little special. But yeah, I think it also like in NA, EU, whatever, like there's a lot of coaches that are like just kind of, yo, what up, boys? Like, let's just make some strats. Like, I don't know. And there's not like, and the players kind of feel like superior to them. And then that kind of breaks the trust. And that allows for players to make roster moves by going behind the back. And the coach is like, yeah, let's do it. Like, even if I wanted to go behind someone's back, I don't even think it'd be possible on this team. Fabian would tell me to fuck off. Like I don't even know how I would even go about that. I do think a lot of coaches are like give into that. Like a player will DM him, a player will bring up this issue, and he'll be like, yeah, you're right, and then it kind of goes there. And like once the coach is gone, and like in that little mix of like going behind the back or going like doing all that, like I think you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, I wanted to add on to like the thing about like what works for other people, what don't. I do agree. So this is a conversation I had with like Super on stream actually, where it's like I do agree that because he said like different team culture for different teams. I do agree like based off your combination of individuals, you do need a different what different everyone values and what works for everyone to get them motivated, etc. But I do think there are universal don'ts. I think there are different do's. I think there are universal don'ts, like Fabian said, where like speaking to each other with respect, right? That's a universal like you have to do it. Otherwise, you're torching time. And it's literally unoptimal. It's literally unoptimal to sit there and practice and call someone a word that would provoke a response to get them defensive, and then you're literally torching practice time, which is unoptimal for winning. Same thing with like not sticking together as a team. Like I think too many people when they develop in T3, where there's no limit on the amount of roster moves they can do, every time they want to solve a problem, they want to drop someone or get someone new, right? And then once they get into T2 where they're locked with a roster for like a couple months, their first instinct is to, oh, when we have problems, wait till the next stage where I can drop this person. Instead of work through it this stage and let's come back, which is also, you're not focused on winning anymore, unoptimal for winning. So I think it's like there's universal truths to team cultures that like most people shockingly can't follow because, they've never been brought up in it. And that's why you see so many players from like when you see pickups from T2, you'll see like the occasional one, but the massive like the big talents from T2 always are like an entire team getting scooped because that team knows team culture most of the time, right? So, yeah.
I mean,
It's not only respect. Sorry, Matt. It's not only respect for each other. It's also respect for the opponents and the practice partners that we have. It's like a general respect for everyone and everything around you because you're just part of a bigger system. And the second that you think that your time or you as a human being is more valuable than someone else, then you fucked up. Like in the end, we're just players and staff. That's it. We're the best in the world at what we do, right? But still, we have to respect everything around us and look at other human beings as actually that. I think a big thing is a lot of people, they also get into their own head where they think that they're so fucking important. But in the end, they're just fucking good at the video game.
we just play
Like,
video games.
yeah, literally that. It can go way too far sometimes.
I was gonna say,
Sorry, Matt.
to bounce off what you're saying, Fet.
Mhm.
I think, like, it's not really so much like you can't say things a certain way to your teammates because I feel like if people listening to me and Sean yelling at each other, they'd be like, "How these guys won twice?" But like at the end of the day, even if you get in a shouting match with someone, like we'll always know that it's not like it's not like from a bad place, like we're just we're trying so hard to prove our own point, and then you just out of that you just think about the other person's point, come back, and we're just trying to get better as a team at the end of the day. It's not like I feel like it's more so how you take it. Like you can't take things personal because at the end of the day, that's an ego thing.
Mhm.
If you take things personal, then that's where you start to hold grudges, some resentment, and then that's when the real problems come. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think people just get in their own egos way too much, especially in T2. Like the amount of T2 players that have like shit talked us in scrims or just ranked or just shit like that is just insane to me. Like those guys have never done anything, probably will never do anything, but they just think they're the best for some reason.
To your point about you arguing with Sean, like you guys never did that on game day, right?
We've
Yeah,
we've dabbled a little bit in game day, but it's
dabbled a
never.
I
little
wouldn't
bit.
say like I mean, fucking full fledged argument on game day, but
No.
like he'll, I don't know, if I don't agree with something, like same with the team, like I'll say it, just like I don't know, depends.
Yeah. I also think it's really poor timing what Fabian said because I absolutely agree, and everyone listening to this podcast should agree. But it's very poor timing. You said like always respect the opponents when Kyno tweeted that scrim clip of the no
Yeah.
audio inverted
Okay.
mouse.
Let's
That's
be real.
old.
So,
To be fair.
That's a
it's
long time
old,
ago.
but also those guys didn't respect us. They didn't respect us because they didn't bring a good practice opponent. It's like a tier 2 team that can't win a fucking round, and no matter what they do, they look like the most unorganized. Like I don't know. It was like a peasant rebellion against the King's Royal Army. Like
That was a third map.
yeah,
for
I think they had won
context.
2 rounds so far during the entire practice. It's like
And to be fair, we were up 7-0 with no sound. Like,
Yeah. That because they had only won one round per thing, and we were focusing on like communication that day, so we turned off the sound for the last map. And then if you're 7-0 with 0 sound, then I don't know. I had to find a handicap for us.
Good comms.
we were
Yeah.
Pretty much.
The comms were flowing.
There was some good powers, I'll tell you that.
Ooh. Off no sound, nice.
Off no
Off
sound.
no sound. I
All
also wanted to
information
talk
and
about
comms.
strategical innovation with you guys. How does that system work for you guys now? Obviously I'm sure it's different from team to team depending on like who's making the strats, who's doing what, but I think part of staying on top and part of winning again is like innovating strats on like multiple different maps, and you guys clearly show that with your skyscraper attacks. I think highest win rate in the world at like 70% by the end of the major, at least from stage 2 to the major. Like what does the strat system look like now? Does Fabian cook? Does Hotancold cook? Does everyone cook?
All me. It's all me.
It's all you. Oh shit.
I figured. Matt doesn't know
Let's
anything, I
go.
figured.
Let's go.
No,
It's a lot
I believe
simpler
in
than you think.
Yeah. So the way that I look at it, and this is something I've been very vocal with a lot of the time, is I don't believe that the coach should be the one that brings all the strategy to the table, because as soon as you do that, you lose a lot of the adaptability mid-game. I have 45 seconds per map to talk with a timeout, and sure, I have in the half as well. But at that point, if you come into a game and your game plan isn't set already, those 45 or those 30 seconds in the half change, it's not going to do shit for you anyways. The game plan should be done before. So I have 45 seconds in my timeout. They have about an hour in a tight game. They have that adaptability, and they are smart enough to take care of that. But it's a mix. I mean, Matt does a lot of the attacks, and then I can bring some like other things to it and help add stuff that I see or think of. Sean does a lot of the defenses, and I also do some defenses. But it's a mix. I think the three of us do the Lions work of, or it's called the Lions work. Is it like the big part of it? Like the Lions, yeah,
Lion
whatever.
share.
Line share.
I sit
There you
back and
go. Yeah.
watch.
Gav doesn't do shit.
No.
D doesn't do shit.
No.
Leo comes with
No.
a lot of Leo comes with a lot of ideas, especially when it comes to like utility usage, and he can bring some strats as well. But it's we have that perk that we have 3-4 people, but 3 players and 1 coach that can all do it if necessary.
I mean,
It's a nice place to be
I'll
because
be
everyone
honest,
can do
bro.
something.
I think trying to be innovative with defense strats is stupid. I just steal everything, and then I'll change it a little bit. But everything you see on defense is probably stolen. Fabian, he'll sit there for 9 hours doing one strat. That's not me. I will blatantly rip everything, and I do. Our strat book. Thank you, Reduct. Liquid, you helped us out a lot at this major.
Sonic's on
If you see
Lab,
something
was
wonk-
it, right?
Sonic's on
Shopify?
Labs.
Shopify, sorry.
Kitchen in your basement defense. Lovely. That's ours.
Lovely.
Like I just steal things.
You'll just run them better, right?
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, bro. Like I'll look at it like,
Yeah.
man, they're winning. They're winning this a ton. Okay, like, and then we just if it doesn't work for us, it doesn't work for us. We'll go get a new one. It's just, I don't know. I don't think you have to be this master craftsman. Like, it just let the other people do that for you. And
I
then
think
on
the biggest thing
attack,
is-
we
sorry,
start
go
one
on.
thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
Matt just kind of does whatever. Matt, I don't know. I can't say what Matt does for attack. That's, but I just steal shit.
I mean, attacks I
We-
feel like are
we
mostly
know it.
mid-round stuff, anyways.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
just have your base. Everyone knows
Yep.
you have your base. You get first pick, hopefully, and then you just go from there and change the round how you see it.
I
So,
don't think
mean,
everyone knows quite yet that. I think that's the way to play Siege, but I think some people don't have strong IGLs, and everything is scripted for them still to this day.
Oh, I feel like
But-
they do know that. They just can't do it.
They just can't.
You,
do it,
you guys
yeah.
have a lot of opening kill strats, like at least on Sky. You know, like the Geisha kill, Blackstars kill.
You want to know? You want to know whose geisha kill that was?
Please tell me it's Gav.
SR.
Ah,
Well,
They did
I don't
to me
think
in a
I
scrim.
don't legit.
Now that Sky's gone, that geisha kill haunted me because I've never seen it before, and most teams don't go for geisha until later in the round, whatever. No, they started there every single round, and I was getting railed. They would Capitao Flame, nade, gridlock, and it was hell on earth, bro.
And then
For
the guy
a
on
while,
the breach.
that was our best attack for a while until people started figuring it out and bringing Wamai and Azani, all that. But that attack was nasty. I'll give him that one.
Like you never seen it with the Capital, or you just never seen
No,
like,
like
Geisha Kill in
people have done
general?
the Capital and they open up the single wall, but
Yeah.
getting naded and then gridlocked where you can't
Oh,
run, like I'm in
yeah,
vase
yeah.
getting blown up.
Yeah, yeah. That's fucking.
But
Oh,
also
this
look
guy.
the attacks, like most of the attacks come to life from Matt's mid round. But I need to say, if we're in a match and we hear Sean saying, "Guys, I have an idea," everyone shuts the fuck up and listens
Ooh.
because when in the high pressure rounds, Sean comes up with some crazy strats sometimes, and we're like, "What? We want all of them every single time you call something in a match."
What was a site rush?
Yeah,
Well, I
besides
don't
when-
remember.
Rushes.
Besides when he like dude,
Oh,
I forgot what match it was, but he's calling a
It's
whole strat
constantly-
for the whole prep phase, and we're like, Sean, it's this site. He's like, fuck. That's the wrong site.
I thought it was CEO, but it was piano on consulate mid game.
Yeah, I mean,
Is
Sean.
what it is.
All right.
Oh, it was a secret. It was the last round of the secret to make main stage, the rush call. And I remember
Oh,
like you
the
after
cafe
the
rush.
round, you were like, I told you guys. I told you guys.
No, because I said it's just a game-winning call, and then everyone shut up. It was awesome. That was
Nice.
pretty sick.
It's nice because every like good call Sean has, I just get credit for. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
But
right.
we
I
have
would've
that
started saying Gunnar.
flexibility. It's
Too
it's
ba-
something
too
that
ba-
most teams don't have.
To back you up, Fabian, I'm exactly the same way. I'll stare at a blueprint for one site for like 4 hours straight. Just
Oh, the amount
Yeah.
of wonky shit that I have made, it's actually insane.
Well, that's the
It's,
beauty of Siege, bro.
No, you
Yeah.
actually don't know what you're gonna get from Fabian because he has a strat we've never lost on game day, and then he has other strats where I'm literally looking at this. I'm just like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like,
I think way
my
too
God.
deep. Way too deep. And it's like I made Fortress strats, right? Because obviously that map is coming in. I have a strat where I have one reinforcement. I made a strat with one reinforcement. That's all we
Okay.
have.
What?
okay, to be fair,
Is that 100%
you'll see when Fortress comes out, the walls are not that important.
The walls
No,
are
it's
not
not.
that important. No, I agree. I think I know the
Genuinely,
site
they
you're
are.
talking about
Yeah.
too. But I wanted to talk to you about that, Fabian. Like how oh my god, I'm like switching up the pronunciation. Like how is it for you that you could keep up? Because my biggest thing is like, dude, when triple bans came in, I'm like, thank God I don't fucking compete in this game anymore because I'd be done. I'd be toast. How is it that like through all these eras of metas, how do you still keep up with what still might work in the game with this operator and that operator and whatnot?
I mean, I think that's more on the players than it is on me, to be fair. We have kind of over default bans, but then when we look like for match days, usually it would be that it comes as a suggestion from any of three of the guys in our staff. We have the perk that all three people in our staff, so me, Pedro, and Titan, because Titan joined us a few months ago, we're all very capable counter preppers, which then turns it into we are able to present these are the bans we should be going with because they make sense. And then sometimes we won't be going with them anyways. That's fine because the players, they have their own comfortability. But the way that I see it is my job as a coach, if I'm the one who's going to tell them how to do everything, it's just not going to work because they are on the server for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. They feel the game to a way that I will never do again. So it's not me keeping up. It's me being there to help guide them both as people in life, as I said earlier, but also keep them responsible and keep them accountable. And then if I do that and I keep them working as hard as possible and I never let them stop working hard, then the success doesn't come because of me. It comes because of them. And I'm just there to help them find it. That's the way I see my job. My job is there to help them find success by being the best capable people of themselves. That's my job. And yes, I can do all those other things too, but I don't believe it's my place to do it. Because if I do too much, then I'll take away the adaptability and the responsibilities from the players. So I might be an outdated, like old, like fucking football coach from that's like sitting there 80 years old and doesn't even know how to touch the football anymore. But that's the way I see it. And I believe that if I give my players a lot of responsibility, over time, they are going to develop to much more accountable people and they're going to be developed to better players. Because even like we look at Leo and D, right? Even though like they have a smaller sense, we don't never talk about Gab because Gab just does his own thing. He hasn't even he's been here in the podcast, hasn't said a word so far.
That's not true. I said one thing, but
that's
it's more
Gab.
than one.
There, that's his voice.
That's
right
Gab.
there.
Yeah, that's him. He doesn't have to. But it's like the development we've seen from Leo as consistency wise, but also like when I came in here, let's be real, Leo, you had a problem with tunnel visioning a shit ton. Almost, I would say, 50% of rounds Leo would tunnel vision on something stupid, get himself killed, and that was round because he plays in a core, like in a important position. That doesn't happen even maybe one round a map now compared to half of the rounds before. For D, people won't believe this, especially you guys that have worked with him, is D has taken up a very important role when it comes to communication within the team. When he calls us reset or a DC, which is like slow down because they're slow as shit or they used to be, um, if D calls them, for some reason our success rate is like super high. If D calls them, so he's taken a step up there, but he's also gotten a lot of like individual stuff down under wraps, like the way that we've told him to split up the round into 3 different phases, so his brain resets and he stops being in constant motion. It has helped his consistency a shit ton and made him stay alive longer, which then leads to more success later on. But I think that like from our staff point of view, we also have probably the most advanced analytical system of all teams in North America. I would be surprised if we don't. I cannot share that unfortunately because that is our state secrets. But we probably have the most advanced analytics in North America, and that's helped us pinpoint issues, which then we can bring up to the team, which we then can improve on as a group.
Awesome. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. All I was going to say is I first off love that. I mean, you're talking about like actually just helping the players with the culture and like trying to grow them to be adaptable. But I wanted to, not a hard hitting question, but go to the opposite. You talk about, there's some coaches out there that are very strategic and they try to basically feed their players a game plan and you got to run this. And I kind of want to get your thoughts on that, Fabian, with obviously you were at G2.
Yeah.
And now they have Romalio, who's kind of nicknamed the rap god when it comes to his timeouts. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to some of his timeouts.
No, I haven't listened to them because I don't care for it.
Okay, but there's the rap god. There's Lagoatness on wildcard. There's call out from SSG where the timeouts are very. Here's the next. Usually it's they're down 0-3. Hey, here's the next 3 rounds. This is exactly what we're going to do. Right. This is the exact adaptations that we're going to run. And I kind of wanted to know, like, obviously you're a little bit more of the opposite. You know your players, and you guys work on it with them being able to kind of free think. Of course, you're not afraid to throw out an opinion here or there. We definitely have heard that, right? Like, run this, do this, right? But what do you kind of think about with, like, that the coaches that are still kind of stuck in the, this is my system, let's run these 3 things? Do you think that's kind of the old Siege, or is that still viable?
I think it's stupid. And the reason that I think it's stupid is that if you haven't prepared your team well enough to know these things ahead of the game, you haven't prepared them well enough to begin with. And I also think that on top of that, if you don't trust your team to be able to adapt those things and read it on their own, then how the fuck will they react to what the opponent is doing? If they can't even react to what they should do themselves, how will they react to what the opponent will do? And that's where, I'm blessed. I have players in the team that can do that, especially Matt and Sean. Leo also has good ideas. Gav exists. And D is kind of...
He's getting strays, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like we have every single day now. We talk about individual goals for the day of working, and then he goes, "Okay, Gav, how are you feeling today?" He gives the score of how he's feeling. What's your goal for yourself? Okay,
Have
next
fun.
guy. Have fun.
Get some kills.
It's like he never has that sort of issue. But no, I think it's dumb. I think it's out. It's not outdated. I shouldn't say that because I don't think that that's the case. I mean, there's places where I will bring up ideas that I think, but in the end, I think that most of it should be already done in practice. I mean, I'm a firm believer that what you do in practice is what you do in matches. And
I'd
if you
love to
don't,
speak on it a little bit, just because I was under
No,
the
you're
call-out
wrong.
system.
You're wrong.
The call-out system.
Go on, Matt. Go on.
And going from that, like, I was fully in that system, and I fully believed in that system at the time. I do think call-out has an understanding of the game that just not a lot of people do. But at the same time, it's like it's so easy to see it outside of the game and call what to do, but it's like so much harder to actually do it. And therefore, like, he's saying 30, like 3 rounds in advance what to do. I feel like they just get lost on what call out tells them to do instead of actually reading the game and what's in front of them. It's like a lot of the times I'm watching SSG games and I'm just like, it's not like it's not strategic stuff that they're losing to. It's just like holistic ideas and changes that they need to talk about. And then, call out timeout comes out and he's just talking about the next 4 rounds. And I'm just like, I don't understand how that's going to really change anything for them, because it doesn't seem to me like they're losing because of their strats. They're losing because of either play style or, stuff like that. So, I mean, Romaglio, I don't know how anyone understands that guy, but I as an IGL, like I would not want my coach to be yapping for that fucking long and telling me all these types of strats. Like it would just make my brain fry personally.
I feel like this is something that a lot of the Brazilian coaches do when they speak English. Like Lagonas kind of does it as well. Like they spit out so much that it's like, granted, maybe you're dialed in, maybe you're in a match, but as a caster, I try to follow it, and I'm like, it's too much information, and it's I feel like it overwhelms the players, and I mean, obviously, I don't want to reveal too much of what gets said in group chats, but like even our casting team, like the people who aren't casting, will actively be talking about the game in our group chats while we're watching it, not just to give directives to observers, but also to other casters and analysts and all that jazz. The main thing that comes up whenever some of these coaches start talking is it's just too much information. Like, what value is really being gained from these timeouts? And I mean, I guess I defer to you guys here. It seems like you say it's too much, but do you think it's possible that the teams that are being coached by these players are actually gaining a lot from it, or do you think it's just kind of a waste of time and a waste of air?
Possible, but I think it's a waste.
I think it could be good. Like, I mean, I look at wildcard. Like, I also just think we're in a very unique situation where we have Matt to be able to just be at the level that he is and IGLing and whatnot. I just don't think every team has that. And like, as a coach, you probably know, like as a player, like who your players are and how strong they are in that regard. Like, yes, I do think you could prep well enough, but like when you're in a game, like I know for me personally, I would have a very hard time IGLing because my brain would just it's just not like I'm not free thinking as much as I on a game day, and like I'm at all points of the game. If I'm getting shit on, I don't know confidently I can say like I know exactly what's going wrong. I know exactly, and like maybe I would want like my coach to just give me these ideas that he's seen from the other side, um, just like as like a reminder in a sense. Like okay, yeah, we could run this like just a different look. But I think we're in a very unique situation with that not a ton of teams have. Because like I don't think Wildcard does as well as they do if Lagonas isn't doing that for them. In my opinion. But yeah, I mean, and you also if a coach is going to do that, the coach needs to be tapped in on the meta. Needs to be tapped like that. You need a good, strong, like knows the game coach. It can't just be any coach doing that. Or I mean, you're fucked. So I don't necessarily think it could be like I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I don't think it's needed every single game and every single timeout, obviously. But I do think it could be helpful to some teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny you say that because that's actually exactly what I used to do, which I wanted to kind of glaze Fabian on. Is that Nick's posted a question about like why is Fabian able to do this? We talked about this last show, and I'm not, and I think like he got a lot of shit for it when I think it's honestly just a good question. Like I think being able to call a timeout in the manner you do is something that like literally no one else has found success doing. Like we've seen examples of like Stuflex or like Mr. Officer or just anyone calling the same kind of like, wake up timeouts and just miserably fail at them. Right. And I think that's just something completely unique to Fabian, which if you want to talk about like the way you do it, if you have rules for doing it to where it doesn't shock the entire team, because I think 99.9% of the other times coaches do it, I've tried doing it at multiple levels of play in different teams. It's never worked. And that's why actually I would call like 3-4 strats and my timeouts, because I was like, I can't fucking do the mental timeout, so I might as well throw them 3 strats if they're tilted and pray to God one of them like makes them happy again if they went off it, So I wanted to ask Fabian, like, if you wanted to break down your timeouts on that end, like, what do you think makes it successful for you on that end? And then for the players going from me to maybe Kyle, especially Matt, like you went from call out to Kyle, to me, to whoever the fuck, to Vivid, right? Like, what differences do you see when you operate under these different kinds of timeouts? And I guess like it kind of did work with both, no? So like, how did you react to it as players, like with different, like in the different maturing parts of your career?
Can I
You
answer
want
like
Matt
the
to me
easiest way real
first.
quick?
You go
I'm
ahead,
sorry.
Sean.
I think a lot of people saw that timeout and are like under this grand impression that every Fabian timeout's just like this mental fucking warfare with us. I think that's the first time I've genuinely heard Fabian ever in any game we've played, like really fucking go off on us. And like how long did that take? Almost a year? Like, I think if Fabian ran that timeout by us, the first like reload event, like we don't react to it the same as we do right there. Like I feel like that's a timeout where that's how you know how trusting and built up, like non-personal we take things on this team. Because people were like, that would chalk this team, that would do that. It's like, no. That was just we finally made it to where we need to be. We're a couple games away from our grand final. And Fabian, we were getting dicked down. Like it was every round just straight dickage. Like, yeah, Fabian lost it, but like we needed to hear it because the comms were silent. Like it was bad. Like it was bad. And we got some rounds back. We didn't win the map, unfortunately, but like I don't know. Like people are under this impression that Fabian timeout's just like I don't know. The way like I was seeing it, that's the most rare. Like that's one timeout. In the grand finals, we were getting told to everything's okay. I believe in you. You're doing great. Like like so. I just don't think it's like as like crazy as people are like making it seem to be. Like that's one timeout out of 50 that we've had that's ever been like that. Like there's been some frustrated timeouts for sure, but like it's I don't know. I just don't feel like it's as crazy as people may like make it out to seem. Like I've heard other I don't know. That's my opinion.
When Fabian's getting to that point too on game day because his fist bumps get harder and harder and harder and
Yeah, that too.
you
Prefer
he's
the kiss
getting
on the
pissed.
cheek.
Fabian, was it you
Good
who
God.
showed me your hand and you had like bruises on it from the fist bumps?
Yeah, on the inside here, on my
Yeah.
on the joints there, it's like
Thank
they
God
were
you do
few.
the palm
Well, yeah, we'll
check,
start the game
otherwise you
like
break
that, just
their
a simple,
hands.
and then it goes and starts pushing my hand down. I'm like, okay, well, he's pissed.
All right, I'm gonna ask a question because coaching has obviously taken up a lot of this conversation. I love where it's going, but I think for the viewers who aren't as dialed in, asking a question like this might help them understand a little bit more. For all of you guys, you've been with a bunch of different coaches, and I mean, there's three current not current coaches, but three coaches most recently on the show at the moment. What to you is the single? You can maybe do two, but I don't want more than two because I don't want to list. What do you want in a coach, and what do you think is best in a coach? Because I brought up earlier, like the directness can be an issue for some players. Obviously, there was that whole Twitter thread about whether Fabian yelling at people, even if it was just one time out or not, is an effective way to coach. This is something that happens in traditional sports as well. You get these gruff old coaches who come in and yell at players, and it's like, oh, it's really motivating. And then after a couple of years, they've lost the room. What to you guys, and we'll start with the players first. I'll actually let Gavin talk because, yes, Gavin has not been talking as much, and that's okay. What to you is the most important aspect of coaching? What do you look for in a coach? Obviously, it doesn't need to be Fabian. It can just be what you think a coach ought to do, and what do you think is best. Then we'll jump to the rest of the players after you.
I mean, like with Eric, I feel like I like being able because I was close with Eric way before that. Like I've been close with Eric for a long time. So I feel like the big thing for me is like being able to go to Eric, talk to him. I mean, not obviously be best friends. Like as a coach, shouldn't be your best friend, but being able to be comfortable enough to talk to him about this at the third, and just being able to go to someone and talk to them if you need to. And then I'd say being like disciplined, like Fabian. Sometimes he has a hard ass, sometimes he's a little goofy, but I think being disciplined is a really big part of it too. And so when it comes to me, I think the friendship part with Eric and the discipline part with Fabian.
Any of you can jump in.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is just you want a coach that has good leadership qualities, like everyone could get behind. It's not like, you don't want one of those coaches that's one of the boys. I mean, Fett was a little bit like that, but I feel like that was kind of like a different group. Like, I don't know. Fett was like, we knew Fett was our leader because he brought us all from the sticks, basically, and made us a team. And I mean that group was just more kind of like our team culture was just goofiness at that point. Like that was just kind of how we were. But I feel like for most teams, like they want a strong leader, you know, like because not a lot of teams have strong leadership in terms of players. I feel like very few in the game have strong leaders. So usually it's the coach who has to take up that mantle. And there's also not a lot of coaches that in my opinion give off strong leadership qualities. So I feel like that's where I guess the coaching whatever you want to call it, the coaching dynamic is lost because there's just not a lot of good strong leadership quality, like people with leadership qualities.
Yeah,
Lack-
I would agree with Matt. I think having a coach that all 5 players pretty much look up to and respect is like probably the single most important thing. Just off the fact alone that like I know how I behaved attitude wise before Fabian, and I know how I now behave now. And like I mean I didn't realize it at the time, obviously. It's not like I'm like going in this with bad intentions, but it's like when you let players get too fucking crazy at, the mental level, especially with other teammates, like it's even if it subconsciously builds up like resentment on both sides, like um and like when you have a guy that's able to like make all 5 players like if I start getting too snappy or anything, you get told to shut the fuck up real quick and I do it like that, like nothing, like I think that's a very important and powerful
Yeah.
coach to have.
I do think that like you saying that kind of reminded me like I do think we struggled with that after winning with Fett. Like Fett could probably agree. Like we probably got a lot. I think we got a lot more bitchy after that. We kind of took arguments too far, and then like even when Fett would try and shut us down, like we would just probably keep going.
Yeah, I'm too friendly. That's
Yeah.
my weakness. I can't not be friends with everyone, bro. But that's why like I'm a short-term success guy.
Also good to have someone scary like Fabian. 'Cause
I don't think I'm scary.
like he's half goofball, half leader, professional, scary. Like I can tell him to shut the fuck up, and he's gonna tell him to eat his ass. But then also, if I'm having an argument with Sean or something, Fabian's like, "Okay, guys, done. We're done. Then we're gonna listen. We don't want to. We don't want him mad. We don't want him. We don't want to see that side of him because he's a leader. We look up to him and stuff. So it's easy to have someone who you can count on to be a little, crazy in the head and goof around and keep the vibes up, but also have the darkness in him where he's like, if we need to lock the fuck in, he's gonna make us lock the fuck in. He's gonna put his foot on the table.
I'm a caster and Fabian scares me.
You keep calling me fatty at the entire event. You went around and was like, haha, you're fat. So I don't know what you're talking
I asked
about.
you if you'd like some Ozempic.
Yeah, I would fucking love it. I'm fat as fuck.
You want to know how you know we're scared? Yesterday in the scrim, I was laughing it off, but we got 1v5'd, and I literally felt my stomach drop, bro. So I was like, "Oh fuck, bro! Like I literally have a strike for getting 1v5'd. I lost money because I got fucking 1v5'd, bro." But
It was great. It was great commitment on my call.
I agree.
Just poor execution.
I mean, you guys kind of talked about it coach wise. You kind of alluded to some things, but me being on the outside, the biggest question that I kind of want to know is like the difference between that Beast Coast winning team core and Kyno. I don't want to leave you out of this, but the Beast Coast winning core versus the M80 winning core. Like, what do you guys think is the biggest difference or differences? I know you, like you just said, like you were kind of different teams at the time of your career. Where you are now, but like I mean that could be coach wise. Obviously, we already touched on. Obviously, Spirits versus Kyno is obviously different. You guys are obviously org wise different, probably getting a little bit more support. And then Kyno, I mean, you can also touch on like M80, the old M80 that you were on versus this M82, just to not leave you out, of course.
I mean, personally, I think the difference right now is like comfortability in every single role. On Beast Coast, I'd say defensively wise, like I don't think we really had a side anchor. at least like
It was Matt, right? I
like a
think.
strong, consistent side anchor death spot player. Like, someone's gonna like take that role. 'Cause it's hard as shit. I mean, we had that with Leo, and then on attack, obviously it's pretty like I think the mistake we made in stage one attack wise and like all that, like Leo was playing a lot of solo spots for God knows what reason. The moment we took Leo off solo spots and perma AIDS player, and then I took every solo spot, D and Gav are permanently entering. Matt really just does whatever he feels like doing.
DMR crush.
Like I genuinely feel that we found like, I mean, I know stats don't matter, but like if you look at like the stats of this team, it's fucking nuts. Like we had a point where everyone on the team was plus 20. I have never seen that in my life, ever. Like
yeah, you guys were all the top 10 as all 5.
I just think that when you have found 5 players, which is really hard to do, that are comfortable in every specific role that we're on, like it is a recipe for success now that I've seen it, because it's like you don't have a guy that's like, I don't like this spot. I don't like this spot. I don't want to play here. And then someone's like, okay, I guess I'll do it. And it's just like, yeah, I hate Eastbalk on fucking on Border, and I hate Snowbalk on Cafe, but I'm good at it. I don't like playing it, but I'm good at like it just takes, I think a lot of teams just don't have 5 players that are good in a set, and I guess roles technically aren't like as crazy as they once were, but like 5 players that are always comfortable in I would say at least 90% of the strats we run. And that's the biggest difference from Beast Coast. I wouldn't say that was the case. I think Beast Coast was I think we were winning off some fucking talent. We were I mean, we were going, let's be real here, dude. Like that was my best event ever. Gav's plus 30. I mean, we won an event with D going negative 20. Like we were just shooting, I guess. Like I don't even know. Like, but I think with the Munich major, it was much harder than Manchester. That was the most stress like inducing run ever. We kept playing the same fucking teams over and over again. Like, and I feel like we literally just outclassed the best teams in the world. It wasn't like, I don't know, like we're on a run. It just felt like we were just better.
I mean, we had one of the hardest brackets I think any team's ever had through any tournament. I mean, we're looking at top team, and then all the way through. The only one that could be considered somewhat easy is probably wildcard, but they were that deep in the tournament. That means that that means that they weren't that bad as people would make them up from the outside maybe. So it's one of the biggest things. One thing that I'm gonna say about the coaching stuff before we move on, because you guys talked about it, what the players think. I think one of the most important thing is adaptability to work with the players that you have and adapt your work and the way that you see things depending on those guys that you have. Whilst I have the ideas and the rules that I want to set and the culture I want to drive, it has to be completely different for different teams. Like take PSG Talent. You think I could let them go on a freedom and like I can let Matt and Sean with calling? I mean, the things that happened when they did that, that was just straight up round losses. In a situation with like team like that, you have to build everything from scratch, and it has to be, as we said before, you have to literally follow the paper. This is what the paper says. But I think that's one of the most important things that coaching staff miss out on, that they don't adapt their work to the players that they have.
I do want to talk a little bit more about coaching somewhere down the line, because I also want to talk to you, Fabian. I think one of the best moments we've ever had on this show ever was when you talked about Shas years ago. Obviously, that was kind of at the peak of that roster and the impact that he had. Now you've inherited that mantle as a coach. So I do want to get into that later, but I want to kind of walk us back a little bit more, because while we are kind of pressed for time, we've still got about an hour and a half left, give or take. I want to kind of talk about the genesis of this roster, right? Like Beast Coast kind of comes out of nowhere to a lot of people, wins the major, and then I think it's fair to say there's a fall off that happens, and immediately the conversation that arrives is, oh well, it was just a fluke. Now obviously it's abundantly clear it's not a fluke, right? There's been redemption in a lot of people's eyes. But what happened with that Beast Coast roster right after you won Manchester? Like, was there a championship hangover? Was it a meta swing? Was it issues with the organization? Gunnar, I see you smiling. I'll let you take I'll let you take lead here if you'd like, but I think
I want Matt to go.
Matt's welcome to go. I want to start kind of from the beginning and just kind of for the next segment that we do here, I just kind of want to tell the story leading up to the Munich Major in almost like chronological order here. So let's talk a little bit about what happened with Beast Coast. Obviously, Fett retires. What happens after that?
Well, it's not even after Fett retires. Fett was still with us for those EWC quals. You know, we won the major, came back. I think we all let off the gas mutually, whether we think we did or not. That's kind of just what happened. And then Fett, I think in his own mind was like, okay, I'm done with this. Like I accomplished what I wanted. So he wasn't really coaching as much as he was before. Let the team culture and the team environment get to probably the worst state it was, or the worst state it ever was, and then we just let the pressure, I guess, of being the champions get to us in those quals. Lost that. Got Vivid. I think Vivid's a nice guy, but I don't think has everything in him to be like a top coach at the moment. I think he could. I mean, we didn't have a lot of options. Kyle fucking shafted us when we were looking for a coach. He said he was going to join us, and then last second said, "Oh, no, I'm not going to join."
Don't worry, Kyle. You'll get the spot sooner or later. Matt keeps telling me that I'm gone for you anyway, so you'll have it. Give it 3-4 months, and you'll be back in.
I'm like, this office is pretty cushy. I'm good here.
Yeah, I mean, no hate to Vivid, but like at times it just felt like I was coaching the team. Like at that point it just felt like I had double the pressure because I had to play the game and I had to make sure that we were like on the doing the right stuff, like on the right track in practice. I feel like we were a good enough team to make majors. I feel like if we got to majors at that time, we would have done well because, I mean, you guys seen it. Every time we go to an event and we get together as a team, we're very strong. The online, everyone's in their own setups, doing their own stuff. Like I feel like that gets to team environments. It gets to us. I mean, it got to us in the past. I feel like now, I mean, I guess even with this team, stage 1, we had the same thing. A lot of pressure that got to us. Going into Austin, that helped us come together as a team and just really just hone in on what we needed to fix. What am I missing? I mean, Unwanted, I feel like, I mean, I said this, I think, to multiple people. I'll keep saying this, but as far as we went with Unwanted, if I had my Beast Coast roster at SI, I feel like we just win that SI. Like, I
That's
feel
a
like
bold take.
we would be an SI winning team right now, and I just believe in those guys. Like Adam and Dream, they played very well at SI, but it wasn't the same roster as having Sean and D. Like, and well, no, Gav was with us.
He's just everywhere. Nobody notices him. He actually played for both M80 and Unwanted at that SI. People just don't realize.
But you can't like
I hide in the shadows.
You can't look at that Unwanted team and be like, if they slot in Gunnar and Diffuser, we don't do better than 4th place, and we lost to the winners.
It's all ifs and buts, Matt. It's all ifs and buts.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, yeah. I'll prove it soon.
Yes, sir.
I hope you do. I hope you do.
I wanted to actually put the focus on Gab real quick before we shift to Parker's next topic because Gab's been in his little corner, looking all cute. But I know we always I know everyone typically plays you off as he's just there, the guy that doesn't give a shit. He shows up, doesn't even like playing the game, but he shows up and just murders everyone. But I actually feel like there's been a subtle mentality shift for you because when I used to text you before or talk to you before about the game, you're like, oh, like go home sooner, Tennessee time, yay. But now this time you're like, no, I'm winning. Like I'm winning the whole thing. I'm better than everyone. Like in our texts, at least. Do you feel like you've had to change your mentality around how you approach how much you care, or do you do you think you're goofy on purpose? Like
he does. That does not sound like Gav.
I'll pull it up right now.
I'm trying to think about when I said that.
I'll pull it up, bro.
Are you sure you have the right number?
I'll tell you what. Hey, me and him in the hotel room, we were.
Oh well, actually, I think it was after he made that video about me. he said, because he said he cursed me, and I said, no, I can't. I'm not cursed. Now we're gonna win. I think it's what he's talking about.
Yeah, something like that. And then after, I don't remember.
And I think it was just, I don't know, like that video was awesome for one. Like it had me smiling, and I had to prove him that it wasn't a curse. Like it's not. There's no. Fake
Let's
curse.
go!
And-
Let's go.
But no, I don't think my mentality's changed. I think half the time, like my brain just can't comprehend the stuff that happens more than half the time. Like when you talk about fucking the arguments and whatnot, I show up and play. I can't comprehend half the things that we talk about half the time. Like I'm just here to play the game, man. Like that's what I'm here to do.
Okay, nothing's changed. Got it. I thought.
I don't think it's possible to change. To be honest, like
Well,
my brain, it's where it is.
It's also
Like,
nice having like people, always bring up how like FaZe is 4 players in Cyber, right? But like, I mean, bro, I don't think Gav's ever been told prep. I don't think Gav's ever been told a go. Like, Gav is like, he just shows up and plays, and it's just like that must be fucking nice, man, to just be able to just come up and be plus 40 every event, and just like it's like I actually feel like we're more similar to FaZe in that sense, where we have 4 players, and Gav is just our shooter. Like Gav's only job on this team is just please go kill people. That's all we need. Just go get them. Like it's like I don't think you need 5 players to be fucking tapped in on this prep, and like just have a player that's never nervous, never fucking bringing vibes down, and slaughtering everyone. I don't think you can ask for a better fragger in that case. It needs to be a fragger. I will say that in my opinion.
I
Fragger in
felt
that case.
like the Falcons final that we just had. I feel like I was getting shit on up till like consulate, and I was having a blast the whole time. Like I feel like I was getting smoked by those guys, but I was going in and dying and doing what I was supposed to do. Like I was trying to enter, like, but I was having fun still. I mean, I'm just here to play. That's period. Nothing else to say.
Um, when the roster started to dissolve, and you got 2 players going off on their own, the rest of you playing under unwanted. Did you ever foresee yourselves all getting back together? Was this something that you saw down the road? Oh, we'll get the band back together. We'll relive the glory days. Or was there a sense at the time that this is kind of the end? Like we're like almost every other team, frankly. Like we splinter, we'll all end up on different rosters, and then we'll hopefully find success. We'll always cheer for them, but we'll never be on the same bench together. Or was there an understanding or even like a hint that this reunion might be coming just somewhere down the line?
It was never really a thought for me, at least, until like at SI, I guess. Like once M80 lost, I knew they would be asking for players. As soon as we were out, Sean just like, "Hey Matt, come hang out with us." And I was
Going behind people's back, by the way.
who?
Sean, look at him. He's right there.
I told Packer at the
Bandit.
event that he was dropped. I didn't go behind his back. I let him know when I knew he was dropped. I told him.
Which, by the way, I want to. I forgot to bring this up earlier, but I think this is a really, really good example. Like, just really quick tangent on the saying things in front of each other thing. That W7M roster at 2023 SI where they got second place, they said it was their last dance because Igor literally told before the event that Volps and Julio were getting replaced. Like, I interviewed him. I didn't know that. That's insane. Like, because basically what happened was they all had a meeting and they were like, okay, who plans to re-sign with the team? And Volps was like, I might go somewhere else. And he was like, okay, I'm just going to look for replacements now. So Igor knew before SI 2023 happened that Felipox and Nade were going to be on the team. And he told the team. And that's how everyone said it was his last dance.
They were signed.
Yeah. So
Both of them were signed already.
that is like a pure example of like a dynasty that was built on transparency, right?
Yeah.
And wonder what other team that had a dynasty also had that approach, huh? All G2, maybe. So if you look at it, the 2 most successful rosters of all time, they've had similar cultures. Maybe it is a good thing after all. I wouldn't know.
I never said you didn't know.
Shut up, Parker.
Okay. So when you guys are like, when that loss happens, is it a concerted effort to get everybody back on the same roster? Obviously, Spirits, I'm assuming at this point is out of reach. But for the rest of you, like, was there a
This is
desire?
how it went.
Sorry?
We lost. I'll tell you how it all went down. We
Fill me in.
lost. our coach is banned, so we're looking for a coach. Spoits was like, I think it was Fnatic or something. Spoit was pretty much just gone. Like, I mean, I was
He wants to go to Europe, pretty much.
yeah. So Spoit's gone. Roster is we're coachless, we're Spoitless. And then I guess Packer, me, D, Leo. Unwanted goes on a top 4 run. Unwanted has a free agent. 2 free agents. One's an IGL, who has won a major and made a top 4 run with a team I didn't think was going to make a top 4 run. And then a plus 40 entry. Well, we lost an entry. No, Packer gets slandered. I don't even think Packer wants to IGL. He was just forced to. I don't think it's as crazy. Everyone was like, to get Matt over Packer. I still can't believe the shit we got for that. I cannot believe it because I understand it's not fair for a guy, give him one stage, but I don't think you pass up on a world champion or major champion, top 4 IGL. That kills people. It's not a negative 51. He shoots people. Why in the world would I ever not try to get Matt? I think that's crazy. And then, so yeah, of course, the moment we were out and the moment they were out, I mean, I'm trying to get Gav at the very least because, and yeah, maybe I should have been more transparent with Packer the 2 days in my brain. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get Matt. I probably should have. But I wasn't gonna. I didn't know. I mean, for all I know, Matt and all of them are going to get picked up by fucking Wildcard or DZ or whoever he's trying to get them, And so then we get told that Fabian's joining. And then the day we met with Fabian, I think Fabian, you asked us if we wanted to keep Packer, right?
Yeah,
I
so I asked you because I said that like I'm not going to go in there and the first thing I do is replacing players because that's not the vibe that I like. I don't think that people should just be replaced because of me, but it has to be I even said I think it would be hard for me to work with Packer after seeing what I saw. But then we decided together as a group that he wasn't going to be part of the roster.
So yes, in that regard, there was not transparency to Packer, which at the time I didn't like. It just that was normal to me.
That moment had already begun though before I was
yeah,
ever on board.
Yeah. So for that, I apologize if Packer watches this. But so that day, we had talk with Fabian. Then we told Packer at the event. Like the meeting was done. We went to the event, told Packer, and then so now it leaves me, Leo, and D. And then that's the most stressful fucking period ever because all right, Matt and Gav, you have offer. Like we just offered them. We didn't try them out. Obviously, like you have the offer. So then we have to wait for them to see if they want to stay a team, if OFG's gonna pick them up. Luckily, Gav is a money hoe. And money talked. And Matt is a Gav hoe. Matt was, if Gav goes, I'll go. Because OXG, I'm almost positive, correct me if I'm wrong, was willing to pick up all 5. For a pretty decent price, like for a good salary. Luckily, thank God, Gav came here. And so the moment Gav locked in, we got Matt. But in that little like blank waiting page, we were kind of, it was going to be an interesting roster where I had IGL. That didn't.
It would have worked.
You would have Stompin'.
We had
Stompin'?
So it was Stompin', and then we tried out Spirits, like as like a potential roster, like that. But I think Spirits and Leo on the same team would be weird. So I think they both are like at their peaks on the exact same. Yeah, I mean you can do double shield, whatever, but like I think it's excessive. And then Stompin' was good. Like if we didn't get Gavin, we're just gonna get Stompin'. But yeah, that's how that formed. Finally, Gavin folded, and then the moment Gav folded, Matt folded, and then the next day we were scrimming. It's awesome.
I have such a funny story as well from that event when I walked past you guys in the mall. So I have a good relationship with a lot of higher ups in organizations. Obviously, I'm going to self jerk it a bit, but my name is quite big when it comes to the competitive side of Siege, just the way it is. So a lot of people that are in higher positions in organizations, they ask me for help with decisions when it comes to staff and players and how I look at people, and I'm usually pretty honest because I think that that's just who I am as a person. That I want people to be able to trust me and my word and put value to it. Marco had been asking me for a long time about like different players, what I thought about pickups and what I thought about the way that they were playing the game and stuff like this. And I probably just put like in my head like 5 to 10 organizations where people are higher up in management that do that. I mean, I still talk to a bunch of people in G2's organizational stuff, right? Just because of how long I was there. Me and Marco had been speaking for a long time, and I was locked into PSG. There was like not even a doubt in my mind that I was going to stay there for the end of the contract. Like I was paid well, I was happy, my work life schedule was fucking awesome because I woke up at 6 in the morning instead of middle of the night like I'm doing now, which fucking blows. But that's a different discussion. So I was super happy in PSG. But Marco, I said to Marco, I've never really had like, I know that Boston is known for their seafood. So he and I decided we're going to have a seafood dinner. We're going to eat a seafood platter because I've never had proper, like, I'd never tried lobster in my life. I'd never tried crab in my life. And all of these things is something that New England is known for. So he was taking me out and we were going to go eating. And then we walked through the mall where the hotel is, and the entire M80 roster is there. Me walking with Marco to a restaurant. We didn't even talk Siege.
And Vivas.
We didn't talk Siege for a second during the entire dinner. We were talking about life and how Sweden is, and basically we were talking about life and just enjoying ourselves. And then we walked past their entire roster. And it was, I don't know, I was just like, oh fuck, now that's awkward. That's awkward. No matter what, they're gonna think something's fucked up. I can tell you one thing. That was not even remotely the case of me even having a discussion with him about any teamwork, but it was just so like the timing just couldn't be worse for them. I find it funny, at least.
I think it's funny too. The amount of times at events where you can get a sense of when a roster move is happening just by who is hanging out with who.
Yep.
Like I remember being at the Raleigh Major and EG had just picked up Geo and the vibes were very clearly off. Things were not going well with the team, and then they get smoked. And for the next like 3 days, I see Troy attached at the hip of like Bosco and Rampy. And I'm just like, oh, he's probably joining Space Station. Then sure enough, there he goes. And it's just, it's funny. Or like if you see like 4 guys on a team out and the 5th player's not around and you see that like 2 or 3 times, you begin to wonder, are we going to see a roster move there?
We actually have rules against this. Like we genuinely have rules against it. You're not allowed.
The esport or the team?
The team, our team has a rule against it. Like we are seen together or not at all. That's it. Of course, there's going to be moments where people fuck off and do something on their own because like that's just how it works. But as soon as we're like at the venue or or like in the hotel, stuff like this, yeah, sure, people can go and have breakfast on their own because like I don't eat breakfast and some people.
Oh, it's very nice of you that you allow your players to eat on their own.
But other than that, if we do something, we do it as a team. That's it.
I mean,
we have rules against it, but it's pretty funny because yeah, obviously most of the time it's pretty obvious, but here this situation was completely opposite of that.
we spent a lot of time. Go ahead.
Two guys eating dinner. That's it.
We spent a lot of time, all of the casters and the desk, talking about team culture at the Munich Major. There's always a couple things that tend to bubble up during the off season or during the major that we think is worth talking about. And team culture is obviously a big one. And it does seem to be this uniting factor across all of the best teams and all of the best regions is how united they are. You see FaZe, they're always together. You see Falcons, they're always together. You see Furia, they're always together. G2, same thing. All of these top teams are always in close proximity with each other. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? Like you're harboring trust, you're building relationships.
Did you see G2 at the bar together?
Well, I usually just see Doki at the bar with Carl. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, Checks out.
I don't know. I actually talked a little bit about this on my own stream the other day. The move to private practice rooms has actually made it a lot harder for us to gauge how teams are doing. I mean, I don't know. Hotten, Mint, and Fabian will probably remember this. I don't know if any of the other Kyno will remember it too. I don't know if you other guys ever played one when they used to do like what was referred to as like the jungle, which is where they would just do all of the practice rooms in one space. So you could like literally, you'd be at the venue and you just walk down. And it's like you'd just be able to walk into everybody's practice rooms. I used to do that quite a lot because I wanted to see what the vibes were like, how the teams were doing, how they were practicing, etc. Now you usually get like a floor or two on the hotel and they will have their own private rooms. You can't just walk in and talk to them. It's not as easy. It's not as accessible. I just kind of miss when all the teams used to be near one another. I think it was better for us, but it certainly is better for the teams now that you have your own private room where you can strategize and talk and do whatever you want. So I do kind of miss those days. But yeah, I was gonna move on from here to the next topic, which is just the growth of the team. You know, obviously the Beast Coast legacy was inescapable at this point. You guys didn't immediately start off at the same level that I think some people were expecting. But I mean, that stands to reason. You are ostensibly a new roster. You've got Kyno on the team. The meta has changed. It's been about a year at this point since you won your major. What was growth like on the team? Fabian, you obviously stepped in. You've got leadership here in Hotten. What were the pain points for the team, and what did you need to do to get from the point where from Boston now to Munich, you have become, objectively speaking, the best team in the world? What was the process to get there?
Gav, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't have an answer. Someone else go.
Anybody can jump in at any point.
I would.
Me specifically, I had to become spirits. No, I'm just kidding. But obviously, in a way, I had to start playing the shields again, which is in Boston, I didn't. Packer was doing it. I was in a more of a flexive role, which is a lot of fun. A lot of DMRs. Love it. The team needed me to play shields again. The cheese, the glass, the ying, which is, you know, sometimes a bit ungrateful, but I'm good at it. Like, and I just find my passion for it again, which now I enjoy doing it. Not Monty. That's why Matt does that. I enjoy playing shields. Like, I enjoy fucking with people.
Okay.
No, I genuinely think the biggest like one reason why like we made that big shift is like Leo. Like, it hurts to glaze this guy. I don't want to do it, but no, like having a player where teams go into a ban phase and the only player they're thinking of is him is so nice, because there's some teams
Not
that
true.
it's my personal favorite. Shut up. My personal favorite like team to play against is a team I know I can ban the Twitch against and run because I'm not worried about their fucking shield, and I'm not worried like if a team were to ban Twitch against us and leave Glaz up, leave all the shields up, like that just sounds like hell because we're gonna use it. That's just a given. I mean, how many times at the major was Glaz banned, even on bad Glaz maps, just because Leo probably terrorized them in a scrim, and being able to have a like, I don't want to fucking play Glaz in that map anyways. Thank you for banning for. It just makes people overthink, and then having that player also playing at the level that Leo is on, I would go negative. God knows what if I was perma SMG 11, 12, and shields. He's going plus 20, plus whatever on that. Like, that's insane. That's like that level of play on that hard of a role is like, I don't know. I think having a player doing that on that role makes everything else easier, personally.
100%.
I also-
mean,
Oh,
go ahead,
sorry.
Fat. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. My fault, Matt. My fault. I wanted to glaze Kyno here because, like, I feel like you were in a particular hot seat of pressure. Like, I know everyone else on the team had the pressure of, oh, we've won before as a core, so we should win now. But, like, you were the outsider to that in the narrative sense, right? And I feel like that puts you on pressure where, like, you're kind of forced to, am I fitting these set of shoes, whether you like it or not subconsciously? I know, like, obviously, you say the healthy thing to say is like I'm my own person, but I think subconsciously it does kind of eat at you, know, and especially with like the fact that you're on, like Sean said, these roles that statistically are just geared to not do well. Like the fact that you've done well on them is one, insane. And like you've just won entire games on them is two, also insane. But like the public doesn't know that. So they look at your stats and they're like, well, this guy's clearly not it. Right? I mean, how have you blossomed throughout your course of dealing with that pressure?
I think pretty recently in my career, I kind of figured out how to put a narrative aside and how to just do my own thing. Because, like, literally in the middle of the grand finals, in the middle of like map 2-3, I was making Spirits jokes. Like, oh, if we lose this game, Spirits is replacing me, right? And it's just like, it became like a joke, a fun thing that I don't care. Like, obviously, like, he was the best shield player of all time for a long time. Like, and I had to replace him. So, like, you think about it in that way, in the narrative way, like, big shoes to fill, but it's like I'm just there doing my thing. I'm playing my shields. I'm playing my game, and it's just I'm gonna try to do my best in that regard. And it's just it is what it is.
I
As you
also
can
want to
see,
do.
public replacements. We already know who's replacing us. Kyle's replacing me. Spirits is replacing Leo.
Then just
Gab is
replacing
being
me.
you're being replaced by Benya. Matt's being replaced by Pengu. It's all just public knowledge. Gab is the only one we don't have one for. We couldn't find a person dumb enough.
It works for me. I mean, shit.
Let's go, Kevin. Oh
If
my
that's the
God.
case, I'm fine with it. I mean,
No,
it
it's the thing. It's like we joke a lot and we have fun a lot and we we take the piss. I say all the time. But yeah, there's a mix between it. But Leo stepped
Yeah.
up massively. Leo's
Yeah.
grown so much. But as a person as well, like the person you are in the team when it comes to like how you play the game and how you process it is also a big reason for why you're succeeding. Like your consistency has gone from instead of fucking up so often, you have kind of like I don't know. There's like you were overthinking so much, and now you know what you're responsible for. And when you know what you're responsible for, you're doing such a good job at it. So it's like getting you to know what you're supposed to do has helped you a ton.
I think.
True.
I mean, we could talk about individual growth. I feel like for all of us, but
Yeah.
I mean, the main problems everyone knew what they were. From stage one is just mental, just focusing on our mental growth, our fundamentals, as I like to say, the fundamentals of Siege. Working on the man advantages. How many of those did we throw in the stage one fucking qualifiers? Insane amount. It still haunts me. But
Skyscraper SSG attack. We threw 2 4 versus 2s and 1 5 versus 2.
I just think of the SR game, and that's just
Oh, that
all
one was
that's in my
also
brain.
fun.
Does Gunnar think of Troy quite often on the EC
Here we
window?
go.
Or
Here we go.
Ripping his head off with a berry knife.
Whatever.
what a
if we do,
shot.
if we make
Oh,
that
yeah.
if we qual for that, we don't win the major. It's fine. I knew what was going on. I knew I needed to
Mostly
like
because it was
bring more
quals for
fire.
EWC, not
Did
for the
you-
major.
Did you guys know too that like I think you kind of alluded that every event you made as your core 4, you guys won?
Well, no, not besides reload.
We don't.
We didn't make reload.
Ooh.
We
I
didn't.
don't
We
think
didn't.
you technically make reload.
Also,
Yeah, you gotta
that was all
qualify.
Pedro's fault. All Pedro's fault.
Yeah.
All Pedro's
We had
fault
some of
is
the worst gamblers of all time on our team.
I just, like the way my mind works was on reload when it came to the betting of points. Like I'm never gonna bet to lose. I think that is a stupid fucking function, and that entire event was even
Didn't
allowed
you
to
kind
go
of do
through.
that though?
No, we never betted. We never.
By only betting
to
1
lose.
point against Falcons.
No, if you're betting to lose, he's talking about like when fucking you would lose and then you'd pick the APAC team and just fucking go all in.
Well, yeah, but like in a sense, you're kind of not betting that we're gonna lose, but you're thinking there's a good chance if you're only betting 1 point.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Falcons at that point was one of the best teams in the world, so why wouldn't we believe that there's a chance we lose? There's always the chance, but I think the system was fucked up. Yes, we sucked at gambling, but the system should never have been there to begin with.
I have a lot of thoughts about reload. I've shared them before. I think those types of like I would say goofy events are fine. My big issue that a lot of people had was that it was for a game that wasn't fully ready yet and was also replacing a major. I think those were the bigger issues. If we had that as like a blow off event in July, like before EWC and after the major, I don't think anybody would have cared. I think people would have been excited for it, but it's like I understand why they did it. I understand that it was a budget thing. It was a marketing thing as well for CJX. I get it. A new game is coming out. You want to show it off. I have no problems with that. I think adding a kind of a strange format was a little bit of an interesting choice, but I think, you know, my main thoughts while watching it and co-streaming it was just like, I just wish we had a regular major. And I think a lot of other people felt the same way. And it's like the system the system had to be explained like 5 times. And I'm like, if you have to keep reminding people how this works, it's maybe not the best thing to roll with for such a big event. But
If you want to do goofy stuff with partner teams, just make it so that everyone makes the same amount of money, no matter where you end up. Unless, like, if you win, you make 5k extra, so each player gets 1k extra money or some shit like this. So there's like some incentive to win, but at the same time, it's also an incentive to like try goofy stuff, try fun stuff, and then you can gamble as much as you want. It doesn't have an impact on anything in reality, other than your will to win. Anyhow, that's past, way past.
So the last point that I want to make here before we move on to just broader subjects is EWC and then into Munich. You know, we talked a little bit about this on previous shows. All three of us had M80 as near the top of the event. But there was obviously some concern about how each region would stack up because, you know, historically NA's done quite poorly at events. Did you guys feel any pressure going into the major? Or, you know, I feel like I know what your answer is going to be, Fabian, but did you guys feel any pressure going into the major, or did you go in genuinely thinking we're going to smash it? If we don't get top 4, this is a failure. We've made enough progress. We're going to do as best we can. We're going to win it. And the reason why I say that is because, Fabian, you said at the time of Reload, Falcons are one of the best team in the world, which leads me to believe that you no longer think that, which would be a shocking thing to say because I still think Falcons are one of the best, even if they're not the best. But anyway, if you want to take the lead on this, or have Gunnar take the lead on this, or Matt.
I mean, for me personally, the pressure wise, like the only pressure I felt at the major at one point that I remember like thinking about was making invite. Because I just don't like calling for invite against NA teams. Like I don't know, like it's my brain. I'd rather do well at the major. So like, and because we didn't have a good stage 1, like that was the only pressure I felt. It was more so about invite because I would never want to miss invite, and so probably shouldn't be thinking that far ahead anyways. But like that's just kind of where my brain kind of went because I started seeing teams qualifying. You know, like on Twitter, it'd be like, oh, this team qualified. This team qualified.
Is that motivation for you though? Like, I know you say that that's like a little bit far ahead, but like, doesn't that kind of like fuel your gut with like we need to do well, I need to make it, and that means do well at Munich too?
Yeah, because like the way Fabian's talked about it with us is like we care about invite. Like that's like our goal for the year is we want to do well at invite, and so like you know, like kind of I guess that subconsciously made me not care less about the major because we want to make we want to win that shit, of course, but like I wasn't feeling the pressure that maybe I would have on past teams where like, holy fuck, top 4 or nothing, you know, got to save my ass here, like because I don't think if we went out and top 6, whatever what it was, like I don't think Fabian's gonna sit there disappointed in us. Like we didn't even make the first fucking event, so I don't think for me personally the only ever pressure there was the pressure of making and qualifying for invite.
I mean, I think one of the first things I said to like the boys, I think like our first game was like, guys, there's like no pressure on us. Like we're literally just here to get better for invite. If we win, that's obviously fucking cool. But as long as we're just getting better at the major, like that was kind of my goal, and I feel like that should be most of our goals. Whether we lose 0-3, go out in top 8, whatever it is, just use every game to actually get better.
Let me ask him directly. Fabian, where do you think this team would finish in Munich, honestly? You're muted.
You're muted.
You're muted.
Okay, I'm not muted anymore. I knew we were going to make it far. How far we would make it, I never know before we get to the event and you get the feeling of the team. After the face game, the first one, that's when I knew that we were going to make at least top 4. There's something that I've always had as a player that I don't have as much when you're coaching because it's not the same. You're not feeling it the same again. I'm not on the server. There's a gut feeling that you get when you know things are there's something here. After the face game, that's when I knew that. The only thing I cared about was honestly to shit on Alamo in the first game, and then after that, anything happened. After that, I'm happy. But no, after the FaZe game, I think I knew we were gonna go really far.
I'm
And
pretty sure I
then
told you, Fabian, right before our secret game. I was like, Fabian, I'm having the feeling.
yeah,
And he goes, yeah, me too.
yeah, there's something in your gut. You can sense it. But the thing is that, like, one thing that I think we have had this really good approach to this entire event, and it's something I started repeating a lot to you guys after like playoffs started, was that it's not what we do that matters, is how we do it. If we go out against one of the best teams in the world, so it said that we lost to Falcons in the grand final, or we lost to FaZe, or even to, well, maybe I wouldn't have been happy with wildcard, but if we lost to Secret as well, if we go out to those teams but we're playing our fucking best gameplay, I do not give a shit if we go out, as long as we're doing it because of them being the better team. But if we
Yeah.
start playing absolutely terrible because pressure gets to us, and we start playing poorly, and we go out because of that, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be angry. But as long as you guys do what I see you guys do every single day, to the same standard and the same expectations on yourself and each other, then I don't care if we go out first if they event either. If we don't even make it out of the fucking Swiss stage, I could not care less. As long as we do it for the right reasons.
So you took your approach, just very quick here. You took that approach for Munich and you won. Oh, we just want to focus on our fundamentals. We want to just play. We'll go deep, but who cares? How do you turn your sights on the NA League now? You said you don't give a shit about the NA League finals. Well, you
I mean,
said
game by
kind of
game.
similar things about Munich and you won. So
If we win NA, I mean, it's a much less prestigious event too, to be fair, but it's going to be the same at SI. Like, we all know, and all the 5 players in this team can tell you immediately, that this is not a short-term project. We're not, as we said, we don't go behind people's back. Like, the players we have here, the first thing I said to D, Sean, and Leo when I came here is like, every player in this team will have at least a year with us. That's like the minimum length that we will go. And even at that point, like, we will talk to you, and if you're in a problematic situation where we need you to improve something, we'll take that to your face before any sort of replacements would even be thought of. But like, those base time that you need to build something, that still is something I don't think we're at our final form yet. I still think we have more places to deliver, or to develop, because we have the players for it. We've obviously proven we have the players for it, not just once but twice. Some of them have shown it. Leo, you're not just there yet, but maybe SI will be. Who knows? In the end, SI comes around, and it's going to be the same thing there. If we make it to the final and we win it, fucking awesome, right? Fourth one for me, first one for everyone else. Great, awesome. But if we don't, and we go out in group stage, but we actually played our fucking hearts out, I don't care. Yeah, I'll be sad. It will be disappointing because I think we're better than that. But I do not give a single fuck if we win or if we lose, as long as we do as our best team, our best selves. And if that's the best we have at that point, well, we didn't deserve more. But it's all about what we do, and I don't care about anything else. This team will win more events. It's just a question of time. But the way we do it is what matters. The way we do it. We win by
Yeah.
being better. We don't win because we're lucky.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, you touched on the SI thing, which I wanted to ask about. It's like, now that you've built up SI in your head, how did you do the same thing at SI? But I'm glad you brought this up, because like, I think the thing that gets you to live in the moment as much as possible, like the momentary mindset, I think is the most optimal in almost like every scenario in the game, right? Like, round by round is the best way to play each map. Map by match is the best way to play each series. Day by day, game by game, and like, win or lose, we just do our best today. And I think that's usually what leads to the best results. I still want to emphasize again, like, for the players, how do you guys now want to apply a similar mindset to invite? Because for the major, you said it's to improve for invite. Now it's invite time. Is invite to improve for something else, or how do you keep that same flow state when you're at the event that can easily become the external pressure of, like, winning? Like Gunnar said that one time, worrying about winning or losing comes a little bit into your mind more than how do you win the current round.
I mean, the way I see it, right, is if we sit here and be like, all right, invites here. So what we trained, like, it's like the fucking doomsday, like, it's gonna be a disaster, at least in my opinion. I mean, I think we just prepare the same way we prepared for major. We're gonna have the boot camp, same place. Like, we're gonna be around each other, enjoying each other's company, and like when we're at invite, it's just a game by game basis. And like the way I see it, right? Let's just take FaZe for example. They lost a 6-1 lead, map 5, devastating. Well, it's not like there's not going to be another invite. The next invite comes and they win it. I mean, like the way I see it is like, if we don't win this invite, that's it. We have another year to then prepare and be better at the next invite. Like I don't
There's
know.
a day
Because
tomorrow.
if I think about it in a sense that like this is everything I fucking prepared for. This is like the one. Like I know, like in my head, like I'll be like, holy, like that'll stress me out. It just will. So I don't want to think of it like that, and I won't.
The way, yeah, I mean, I'm along the same boat. The way I'm thinking about it is like I'll get my SI no matter what before I go. So it'd be cool if it's this one, but it doesn't have to be.
Matt. Let's go.
Before we finally wrap this topic up, I do want to talk a little bit about, just very, very briefly, about the comeback that so many of the players on this team have been on. Gavin and Diffuser in particular have never really been, I feel, have never really been a point in their career where they needed a bounce back, right? But like Sean, for example, you took quite a beating with the way that you were playing on Sonics, or the way Sonics had you play, and then you come over to Beast Coast, you're the MVP of a major, break the record, now you're a 2-time major champ. Like, nobody can doubt that. Like, Kyno, you got bounced around. I know there was some criticism about you as a player, like, and now here you are being called like the missing piece by your own teammates here on this show. But like, if I can get sentimental for a second, Matt's story, I think, has to be one of the best in our esport. Like, Matt goes from being one of the hottest commodities when he was younger to going onto a team that Mint was a part of, that won the hearts and minds, even if they never won an event, on that old, the flip side through, oh my God, what was it? Gotham Gaming into flip side, into SK, into DZ, all the different iterations. And then, you know, Matt, we had you on the show where you literally tearfully talked about getting dropped from that team and how heartbreaking it was. And there were periods of time where I think you could very credibly look at it and be like, he's kind of on the downward swing. His career will probably be over by the time he's 24, 25. And you go on to Mirage, which for most people would be effectively a death sentence, and you blow up. And your stock rises so far, and you go, I pulled up your Liquipedia, brother, and you literally go to Space Station, and you have like 15 fucking awards for like Play of the Week, Team of the Week, like NAL Season MVP. And then you get moved over to Beast Coast, you win a major, then tragedy strikes you again, the roster implodes, you go to Unwanted, who knows what's happening, and now here you are again, getting called the best IGL in the game. You're a 2-time major winner. You can play just about any role. You've very clearly got the respect and appreciation of all of your teammates. Fabian is a real son of a bitch who is not easy to impress, and clearly you have earned his respect, trust, and appreciation. I just want to say, I think when the Siege esport eventually finishes, I think it would be ridiculously stupid to not have you in not like the Hall of the Greats, but the Hall of the Best. Because like all of your contributions, your own capacity to bounce back from adversity is frankly so remarkable. So I just wanted to take some time to say that, because there were a couple things I'd written down before we did this show. And the one thing I kept coming back to was just how good your story is in particular. And of course, this is not to lower the contributions of the rest of the team, but I just wanted to say, personally, if people aren't giving you the flowers you deserve, they're fucking insane, because you have cemented your legacy as one of the best in the game and one of the best in NA, and I'm very happy to see it.
Appreciate that. I mean, for a time, I feel like I did care about that stuff, you know, hearing it from others. But at this point, I'm just here to prove it to myself.
Like I said, I think it's not just you. Obviously, like Kyno and Gunnar have had circumstances that are outside of their control, where it's like they've done really, really well, and it's like I am as much as I am a caster, I am also a fan, and I try to shut that part of my brain off. And I just got to say, like, I like casting you guys. I like every single member of your team. You are fun to cast. You are all fun guys to talk to. I'm glad you are seeing success. Even if I do hate that Fabian's ego gets bigger by the day, it is still nice to see all that you guys have accomplished. And I just wanted to take some time to appreciate that. And Gavin and Diffuser, who's not on the show, obviously, you guys haven't had like the walk in the wilderness the same way that some of these guys have, but it's been great to see all that you've earned as well. So
Hey, Gav did get cut.
Gav's story's the funniest one.
Kyle,
'cause
you're
that's
muted.
The first
I
plus
did
40
I
player to
did
get
drop
dropped.
that guy.
And then I dropped him, so I got my revenge. It's all good.
Holy shit.
Kyle dropped
It's one
me,
of the
and I went to drop
craziest.
him.
Like,
Yeah, it's one of the craziest drops I've ever seen. Because I remember SI23 boot camp, we had
Mhm.
literally with G2, we were in LA and we demolished every single team. We didn't lose a single map over the entire boot camp except for one day. One day we played DC, and Gav dropped 15 frags a game, and we were like, "What the fuck is this kid?" He was just absolutely demolishing us. That was the only day we lost maps. It's also the day where I was really really angry at Carl and Doki because they were like super shit leaders in the team. So I really like I like fucking lectured them up, and I think it's one of the reasons why we actually did so well because like I put them in like you have to be better leaders than this and stop blaming everyone else. Look at your own mistakes and like be accountable for them. So I think thank you, Gav, for making me win SI23. But
You're welcome.
when you guys dropped him, I was like, what the fuck are these guys thinking?
So just to cover my bases here.
This
Just
is
cover my
gonna be
bases
epic.
here, real quick. I love Gav. I still glaze Gav as well on my stream. It might be the most fun player I've ever coached. I loved walking into work every single day and seeing Gav's shining faces. I'm sure you do as well, Fabian. It's just he's never not happy, clapping his hands,
Yep.
having a great time, right? Obviously, you know, I mean, there was a little bit of beef on that roster. There was a little bit of beef. It wasn't Troy versus Gav. It was probably Troy versus Gav's girlfriend at the time, Alexa. And we were gonna get Usus and Solotov. For anyone that didn't hear, that was the initial plan. Troy really wanted Usus and Solotov, and Bola was a compliment. Like, what are these? Consolation prize? Consolation prize.
yeah,
Now, I did not want to do it. I love Gav, but you know, I'm a man that's contracted by a GM and the GOAT IGL the entire game. So I'm just throwing my 2 cents out there.
I think the funniest joke we make is the fact that, now correct me if I'm wrong after I say this, but Troy was ready to lose his job and walk away from that team if Gav was not gone. Wasn't it like an ultimatum?
Yeah, it was an ultimatum conversation between the three of us where
Get
Marco
fucking-
Marco was gonna get him on M80 way back before they had an IGL. Kyno, I don't even know if you were there at the time. Maybe
It was
you
to
were,
replace
yeah?
me.
Oh shit! Yeah, well, glad that's
So Mint's replacing
Lot of
everyone
shit.
on our team.
Yeah,
No, no.
Because that's what
Good ass
period where
podcast,
everyone
bro.
got dropped, right? Me, Gavin, and
Yeah.
Sean, all
Smiling
three of us got
right
dropped
now.
after Atlanta, and that's
Damn.
when the whole Troy to Media was happening.
Mhm.
Fucking yeah, all that.
That's
I
awesome.
mean, we could have a podcast about all the rosters that could have happened everywhere. Like this
Could've,
game could be
would've,
completely
should've.
different. But I am glad, and to touch on Parker's point too, like you guys are one of the most fun rosters to watch, just because again, like everyone, you guys all have like such a history of being like misfits almost, right? Like literally, I mean, you already went through it all, but like, yeah, Matt, you were just a shot caller when you worked with me. I'm glad you brought up Matt's the glaze sesh, because I was gonna eventually ask at one point, where did he become the best IGL in the entire game? Because he was just a shot caller when I worked with him on DZ. But yeah, just seeing everybody, Gav getting dropped, Kyno again, like everyone's calling for your replacement. Gunnar got dropped off Sonics. Like it's really cool to see, and it highlights like the importance of just like finding the right fit in the system and like the right coaching staff and like people that believe in you, and you can take all these players that were dropped and like still form a really solid team of ideals that you guys are getting from all of your other previous teams and coming up with your own kind of system. Yeah, it just kind of highlights just how cool it all kind of works out. So definitely love it.
NA will never see a free agent pool like that ever again.
That was also the most blessed time of all. Like that was insane. The amount of players that were dropped,
baby.
that was insane. Even
Oh.
EU too. It wasn't even just NA, like EU again, but M&M breaking up. Like all of those players were free agents. It was just, yeah, it was wild.
Shit.
I think it's kind of funny that you use the word misfits, because I don't know how many people actually know this. You guys remember the original Beast Coast roster that had like Slashug and all that on it, and Caliber Jacob called them a team of rejects. That is a verbatim quote from the show. We're in LA. We're standing around, like we're at the desk, whatever, ready to cast, and Jacob calls them a team of rejects. Not, it's like I like we've been calling them like I think Super was the first one who called them like he's like they're like the island of misfit toys. And that original Beast Coast roster, which had like Slashug and all those guys on it, it's like, yeah, that makes sense, whatever. Then Jacob called them a team of rejects. Well, Slash's mom got so upset by this that she tweeted at him, basically like how a mother would, basically being like, it's so rude that you call them that, like be more respectful. And then Jacob just like responds defending himself, and he gets into like this knife fight on Twitter with what ends up being like 3 different players' moms, all like responding, being like, you need to learn manners. And Jacob's just like trying to fend off these like middle-aged women and face it. And I just like, I walked into the control room and I just remember one of our producers was just like, what is happening on Twitter right now? And I was like, that event, that like whole moment ended up costing him. It might have even cost him frankly his career, because he got pulled from, there was some event he was supposed to work. I think it was the Charlotte Major, and he didn't end up getting the Charlotte Major or something like that. And then he just never really recovered. And then he moved over to hosting. But it was just like, I think it's funny that you now refer to them as like a team of misfits, because I was like, they used to be Beast Coast, and then the Beast Coast thing, we used to call them that, and it all just works its way back. So just a funny little thing.
Way worse misfit rosters than ours, that's for sure.
Well, yes, I mean, I don't think anybody who looks at that old Beast Coast roster thinks it's the same. Wasn't that the same Beast Coast roster that did the Beast Coast XSET match? That is one of the worst matches that I have ever seen at a tier 1 level. But it gave us "Why Are You Sprinting" bio, so I guess that's something.
Yeah.
Was Slash on that team?
I think he'd been dropped at that point. I think they went through. I think that was like stage 1 or
Slash
something.
Was after. The first one was like
Was
Rudy
he?
Sippin. The bio one was like Rudy Sippin, Anthony MGS. The Slash Hug was it Yardi the next year?
Oh yeah,
Jesus.
that is true.
You guys got infinite ball knowledge on shit roster.
That
I
guy.
remember because that was Yardi's team. I gotta know Yardi's team. I gotta keep track on that guy.
True,
You know?
true, true. I wanted to ask Kyno and Fabian how's teaming with Gav. Like that.
Oh.
I feel like that's like a unique experience that you only get once.
Yeah, I can. I bond with Gav pretty well. I think a little under, but like he's a little like more stupid than I am. But like I can match him like here and there, so it's a good like bounce back, you know.
I mean,
I-
in general, like
we
too,
ha-
I think we may have one of the most like outside the game, probably one of the dumbest teams out there.
Yeah, no, for
Hey,
sure.
hey! I am not from North America, all right? I'm European. I
And-
keep us at a normal
had a-
level. You
It-
guys,
Oh no, we're
Tell
talking
the D
about
story.
D is like sleeper stupid.
Oh, he's dumb as hell. He's dumb as a
He's not
brick.
sleeper stupid. He's just
Like,
straight up stupid, bro.
SD
My
anywhere.
God.
SD, what continent he's on, he literally cannot tell you.
When he landed in Sweden and asked if he was in
Yeah.
Europe.
He thought
Like,
Yeah, he
no.
asked if he was in Europe.
he didn't know where he landed.
Yeah, and then he asked if Munich was also in Europe. He didn't know.
And he
What was
asked
the
where
Paris one?
he asked where if he said Paris was in London before. Yeah.
That is no, that's a crazy
right.
one.
No, but I think that like teaming with Gav is easy to get along with, and also because he does his job, there's like no questions about it. But I think like overall, our team, we have such a good bond between players and staff. Like all of us in both staff and teams, like the entire group of people, get along really well outside of the game. And I also think that we have very much the same expectations on each other, which then means that we hold each other accountable at work time, but we also enjoy spending time outside of work doing things together and playing things together. Like boot camp, like every single day we would just jump on Battlefield as soon as practice was done. We'd be like, oh yeah, let's grind some Battlefield and just like have fun with each other. And we did so many fun things as well, where it's like, and we also went to eat so much good food. So it's like we have a good team to be around, and everyone is like enjoying the situation we're in. It doesn't feel like a lot of time with boot camp, it can feel like you go on like it's like a chore. Like you have to do it because that's just what you do when you're an esports professional. But this is probably the first team in my life that I've had that I don't feel it's being a work thing as much as it probably used to be for me. So I think it's just a general good bond between every single person in the group.
How old do you feel having to work with players like these?
Oh fucking hell! Don't get me started on this.
He's only 4 years older than me. That's not that much.
Yeah, I'm 4 years
That's
older
fair.
than you, but you're like 7 years older than the rest of them. So it's like, Sean mentioned.
Damn.
and I misunderstood this because it was his sister's age. So his parents had his sister when they were 17,
Oh.
and I thought he said that they had him when they were 17, and I was like, wait a minute. I need to do the math on this. So I did the math, and I was like, fuck me, I'm closer to Sean's parents' age than I am to Sean. That's fucked up. Okay, it didn't turn out to be that way in the end. It was just a few years off, but still, man, I feel fucking old. I don't like
with
the
you.
social media stuff. I just want to like disconnect from the world and just live my life out in the woods and do fucking nothing. Just go 9 to 5 work. But I don't know. I can't have enough of winning either. Like there's something with like when you're good at something and you know that what you're talking about is correct, then it's hard to stay away from it no matter what.
Yeah.
He's always pulling. I thought I was done. I went to Korea. I hate that losing so much that I fucking like when M80 came and I was like, yeah, I'm leaving. I will see you guys never. I'm gonna pay part of my own buyout just so I can get to a better team where I can feel like I can actually compete again. Since like I just wanted to win, and we have the capability to win. Obviously, we showed it again. Well, they showed it again, and then we also have such a good team bond that I think that it's a special place. It's a special place to be.
On that note, we have about 25-ish, 30-ish minutes left at absolute most before you guys have your own commitments. We are going to do one more quick ad read, and then we can move on to a topic where we can talk about whatever we want. If there's anything that Mint or Fett want to discuss now that we've told the story of this team, I think we can move back to that. So we have 3
Is it
sponsors.
Viagra, Parker?
Sorry?
Is it Viagra?
Is that you trying to say the word Viagra?
Viagra.
Same thing.
Viagra.
Don't mind the
Believe it or
Swede.
not,
That's-
we have
that's what
not
it's
picked them
called,
up.
Swede.
We
I'll
have
be
not
right
picked
back.
them up as a sponsor. Frankly, I'm not
I thought you
surprised.
would. As a frequent user of it, I thought you would.
I've never even used
Sorry.
it.
Sorry. Okay. You go with the ad read. Go
Well,
on.
if you guys
Sorry.
want to go do your bathroom breaks, I'm just going to do a really quick ad read. It's a company that we picked up a couple shows ago. I'm actually wearing one of their shirts right now. We got some promotional stuff from them, and I got to say it's excellent. I did speak quite glowingly about Into the AM's products on our last show, and I meant it genuinely. They sent me a pair of pants, a big like hoodie sweater thing, like jacket, and then this T-shirt, and it's all great stuff. And I mean, I've heard of Into the AM before. I know Fett wore one of the shirts. Kyle, I don't know if you've actually gotten some product yet. I know you were supposed to last time. I don't know if you filled out the link now. Apparently he did not. Okay. Into the AM obviously is a merch company for those that don't know, and their slogan and how they describe themselves, that they say the passion pushes us to explore and drives to create. Into the AM is committed to making premium, high quality apparel and supporting other creators whose authenticity connects with their audiences. We appreciate what you're building, and it's what Into the AM stands for. We are actually filming this show on Black Friday, which means the Black Friday sale is live. So shop the Into the AM Black Friday sale. All items are up to 60% off from now through December 8th. This is in addition to the 10% that you always save by using our special link, which is intotheam.com/LFN. Additionally, Into the AM is running a raffle for a $25 gift card to their store. To enter, all you need to do is go to the Last Free Nation Discord server, which will be linked in the description of our video below. All the instructions on the appropriate channel. Thank you, Into the AM, for that. And of course, when you use our referral link, if you do use it and you buy any of the stuff from Into the AM, you save 10%, but we also get a referral of 10% of whatever you spend. So some of that money does come back to us and helps us out a little bit. So thank you to Into the AM for all they sell. And to be completely frank, I do genuinely like their stuff. So anyway, that's it for our ad reads for this show. So we are now free and clear of all those obligations. I know Fabian was going to make fun of me for them. You can do so if you'd like, but
Oh, I have plenty of stuff to make fun of you for. Not
Perfect.
This doesn't have to be one of them.
that's great. All right, Fett, Mint. We have 20-ish minutes left, 30-ish minutes left. Do you have any topics for the boys? I know that you talk to them quite regularly, so maybe you've already talked to them behind the scenes, but no, Fett,
No.
you have literally nothing to say.
No. Like I made it a rule to like not bother them until after. Like I only like talk to them while they're competing if they like message me first. Like I try not to bother them. I think it's any rule. I think like any team should not like be bothered until they win or lose. So yeah.
All right. Well, this is great. This is good. I did want to come back actually and ask a question that tied into something a little bit earlier. Then while the rest of you work on that, it's something that is actually a little bit strange in our esport. If you watch a lot of other games, interregion rivalries is like a huge storyline and a huge selling point. We don't really have that in Siege, right? Like obviously the big one that people have talked about recently in NA is SSG versus Wildcard and their record there. Brazil, I feel like, does an excellent job of marketing it. But beyond that, it's like nobody really seems to care about the rivalries in NA. And I mean, even Fabian, you and some of the other players have said like the NA League finals are like, whatever, we don't really care. Why is that? How do we make it so that people care about being the best in NA?
Why would we care about being best in NA when we were proven we were best in the world for that weekend and we played it? It's
For a
like,
fact.
for us, it's like, okay, yeah, I care about competing against SR and SSG, or I care about being the best in the world. I don't know. Everyone's just dog shit in NA.
I think they put it in weird times. Like I know when they used to do NAL finals, like I remember it was like Sonic's DZ final, was it the finals or something, and like, man, I would say that it was pretty, both teams were going pretty fucking hard. Not that anyone wouldn't, but like it's just like right now, I would say this is the first NAL finals. I guess you could say is like that. It doesn't feel like a finals. It feels like a qualifier because it is, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like you're not winning NA, you're qualifying for invite. That's what first place gets, and even I think second place. And it's like they're doing it on an old patch, right? And like so it splits the teams up even more because it's like, well, now we're in this weird predicament. Do we? I just have a hard time like putting my full force and like wanting to win NA finals when I feel like I need to learn a new meta, a new map. I need to learn a new map, a new meta, a new meta-ish. Do all these things that that's be good at a new map. Because I mean, let's not beat around the bush. Like one of our best maps just got fucking ripped away from us. So it just feels like there's a lot to do before invite that we want to get ahead of the curve on, versus like scrim the old build and try our hardest to win NAL for what? Like, I mean, yeah, money is great, but like, it doesn't in the long grand scheme of things doesn't help us in any way, which kind of sucks. Like, I wish they didn't do it on the old build, and they did I think the LAN is really cool, and like maybe they increase the prize pool to like an actual, because I think the prize pool is the same as like us just winning stage 2, I believe.
A little more,
don't know
sure.
for sure. But like, I think making it a qualifier, like, it's just kind of like no one cares about being the best because, like, I don't think you think of it like I just fucking won NA. It's like, oh my god, thank God I mean, these teams are literally fighting for their life to make the event. It's their last chance before, I guess, the LCQ. So it's like,
I mean, in a sense, doesn't that make it more worthwhile though?
Mm-hmm.
Not for us because we're
for a
qualled.
team. No, but it's like because we're in that unique situation where we qualified. It's hard for me to be like go into it at the same stakes as like let's say SR is going into it because this is everything.
SR, DZ, like those guys are fighting for their lives trying to qual.
Yeah.
I think you make yourself care about it, so you get real pissed off when you like throw and lose, and then you'll get like fired up for invite again.
No,
WC, we lost that. We won the majors. We need to lose this.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm gonna go into trying to win. It's just annoying that they are doing it on the old build. I just wish they weren't, because it split the practice, it split everything, and it's making practice and all this very fucking annoying.
Is it motivating to go in as like a villain though? Like,
Oh
you
yeah,
get
no,
to
I mean,
literally
like, us
like,
being able to
yeah.
make some people not that.
Like-
I mean, that is hilarious.
What's
Like-
one team you really want to miss?
SR.
Come on.
That'd be
Yeah,
so
there it
funny.
is. Come on.
Don't
You want to
say
watch them?
no.
You want to watch SR play like SI quals? No.
Yeah.
Like,
That would be
listen,
funny.
for the sake of watching SI quals be a fucking shit show,
Yeah.
I hope that like OX, we have to beat OXG sadly first, so like maybe they can't, but like imagine like an SI qual with like DZ SR in that, and that's the final to make only one goes to SI. Like,
Holy shit.
that'd be fucking crazy.
That's realistic.
So
That definitely could happen.
I think, I mean, how pissed would you be if the team that literally has nothing to play for just beats you out for invite just for no reason at all, other than we're greedy for money, So that,
Same
I
with
mean, that's a
Wildcard,
fun,
right?
that's a fun thing to do. Yeah, I think Wildcard technically,
Like, Wildcard plays DZ first in
they're
lowers.
qualled, though,
They're
I
qualled.
think. Yeah.
Yeah. To answer Parker's question though, I feel like, and this has been hard for B because I know like when you're competing, um, the narrative is the last thing you want to think about, right? Like it's nothing but poisonous to you unless you're Sean, which you just gobble it up and like fucking like soup it every day. But it's poisonous to you, and it mostly like just it's bad for performance, it's bad for everything, and you never want to think about it. It doesn't even matter. But when I started YouTube, it's like the complete opposite, to where I slowly had to become this narrative demon where everything's a story and I have to hype everyone up. Like, think about the NBA and how they hype players up. It's like they look at a player, they like micro analyze like how he does a layup, and they're like, that reminds me of Michael Jordan. And the guy's fucking nobody and has never done anything. And like if I did that in the esports, all of you guys would call me stupid as fuck. Like, why is Fett doing this? But like I have to do that to promote our esport. So I'm slowly becoming more exaggerated, more hypey, more narrative driven, and it's been working. To be fair, it's been working. Like, but like that's why like I feel like I've like lost a lot of my dignity, just like shedding that like objective view on people and just starting to like I'm gonna hype everyone up as much as I can to build these narratives to where everyone's unique and everyone always seems to have a chance against everyone else because everyone's heroes in their own story. You know, and I feel like that's what League does super, super well. Because let's be real, fucking Chovy, like I don't know if you guys know that guy. Chovy hasn't won anything. They call like people think he's the best mid laner in the world. That guy's won shit. Faker fucking owns that guy. That guy's chokey, right? Like, but like they still call him the best fucking mid laner in the world. Like, oh, he's this guy that's better than Faker. He's the future. And then they did that promo where like they shot Faker and Chovy was like, I'm gonna usher in a new era. And Faker goes, if the future is yours, prove it. And boom, like, you know, hype piece done. Like it was just insane. It was just the most insane hype piece ever, right? And I think Siege needs more of that. And I think, frankly, when you try to like, I understand like connecting pro players to the casual community is really great. It's really fun. It's awesome. But the pro players have this mindset of like just very objective, boring, like not narrative driven pieces because they don't need it. They're trying to win. That's it. So for me, it's like I think we need more people. I'm gonna try to do pieces like that person with my content, but we just need more people like building those narrative pieces if we want to get interregional rivalries, you know, that have a lot of attention. So
it ties into another topic that you mentioned, Fett, a while ago, and we did a full show on, which is the way that the casters and the desk talk about the game and the players. And there is an awful lot of negativity around the average cast. It's, you know, and slowly I think that ship is turning. I think if you go back and you listen to Munich, there's a lot more glazing than there was a lot more, you know, dumping on teams. But you have to straddle this weird balance, right? Where it's like the players obviously know the game better than most of the casters do. That shouldn't surprise anybody. So when like a team like M80 goes to rewatch a cast and they leave the audio on, they're gonna be like, these guys don't know shit about ball, you know? And we're just saying stuff. But a lot of the times we know what we're saying is not 100% correct, but we have to package it in a way that is accessible and easily digestible for a much more casual audience. There, you know, even if the esport isn't what it used to be, there's still tens of thousands of people, upwards of hundreds of thousands of people who are going to watch the Munich Major Grand Final, for example. And there's a lot of intricacies and very complex stuff that's being done that's lost on 85% of the audience, I would say. You have to cast for them. You know, like I'm not here to cast for Fabian to have him be like, wow, you know, Parker really knows his stuff. Like that's not my point. My point is to try and bundle as much of this as possible and kind of hit on the notes that are a little bit more casual. So talking about big kills and big moments, really simple stuff like, wow, this player's got 15 kills. That's incredible. Like a lot of you guys could be like, yeah, okay, but like 9 of his kills came in rounds that they lost and like they're coming against below. And it's like, but that doesn't matter to the casual audience, right? Like we have to package it in a way that is accessible. And you get pros and other casters who watch it and are like, these guys have no idea what they're talking about or what are they doing? And then you get casual audiences listening being like, wow, that's so right. I didn't notice that. So you're pulled in these different directions where it's like, we obviously want players to give us praise for the casting that we do, but we also need to realize that there are times where we have to cater towards an audience that is so, I guess, just unknowledgeable about the game that the players are going to be like, these guys are idiots. The fuck are they talking about? So we have to glaze players for big plays. And then it's like, I'll see a player get a 3K and I'll blow up. And then I'll see like 2 pro players on Twitter be like, the fuck is Intero yelling about? Like, that was such a routine play. And I'm like, brother, it is not for you. Like, I don't care what you think. It's for the audience, right? So you're trying to make a lot of different stakeholders happy, and it's almost impossible to do that.
Like Siege is a very unhappy esport anyway, so you can't make everyone.
You're telling me, brother.
Yeah.
You
On top of that, fuck-
experienced it a lot. It was tied into the thing I said earlier, where it was like, man, I honestly, you have a stronger mental than I do. When you were on Sonics, you were blamed for every problem on that fucking roster, and I'm just like, I don't know how you even logged into social media after some of those games, man. Like,
Recently, I've been having a joke with NJR. I'm trying to get him. You know, there's been a lot of DZ hate recently, but he's fallen under the radar, and like I'm trying to push the narrative for people to be like, no, he's the problem. So then he dealt with what I dealt with, but I'm not
He's the
there
only
yet.
one still there. He's
I'm
the
not
only
there yet, but I'm
one.
getting there. I'm
Mm.
turning. They will turn against NJ, but no, it's just hard. Like I avoid talking shit and I avoid all this narrative like story. Yeah, I mean I could go fucking call this guy dog shit before the game and like not care what people say, but that didn't like I finally met a place where I'm not getting assaulted. Like I don't want to deal with the idiots that like comment on everything because oh my god, I did a Spoit 1v1. I lost and I was talking shit.
and you survived.
Dude, I think for 4 months it was every platform. They found my Instagram, and just like I can't, like I don't want to deal with people. Like I don't ever want to be a villain again because it's just, or just in a spot where I'm being shit talked all the time. 'Cause it's like they're so bored. It's just they're so bored. It's just like, and they won't leave you alone. It takes a while. You got to win a major for them to shut the fuck up, bro. Because, dude, Sonics was miserable. It just was miserable.
You know, Parker, it's funny you say that the casters has to talk about it in a specific way. I don't even remember the last time I watched a VOD with the casters on, just because you guys are annoying as hell.
Every player says that. Doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not casting for you.
No, but I'm
No
not a player. I'm a
caster is, right?
coach. I'm a coach, so I hope
Well, you were a
Hey,
player.
sorry,
You
sorry.
also were an analyst. I turned off most of your desk segments too, so that's fine.
that's probably for a good reason.
But to tie in the whole like why is NAL not, I do think NAL Finals actually has a lot of hype behind this one because the good teams didn't perform as well as they probably should have, and SSG, DZSR are going to be going hard as fuck in this, you know, and it's going to be good games. But I think a lot of players don't want to talk shit and don't want to like do all these things online because it's like you did have to deal with the repercussions of if that player has a fan base or if they just don't like they like Ashen, for instance. People hate Ashen. I never see anything good about him anymore because they're like he talks shit, he does this thing, and like people hate you for that, you know. So it's like I think a lot of players don't want to deal with that, and they don't want to deal with even though these people don't know what they're talking about. It's just like a nuisance almost, you know, to be online and just see a bunch of shit on your name. You know, there's players that probably don't care. I'm sure Matt is at a point where he doesn't care, but I know if I started that again, like it does eat at you, at least subconsciously for me. So I would say that's why there's kind of like a bland slate in the pro scene when it comes to shit talking and storytelling, I guess.
Yeah.
We
I
go ahead.
I just remember JV getting mad at me, or JV didn't get mad at me, but he was like, "Why'd you make a video on W7M's bans when they double banned range breachers on headbot like on bank when we saw it for the first time on game day?" Because he's like, "That's so default." And I was like, "I know, but like to silvers, that shit is crazy, so I have to make it crazy." You know, I remember like same thing with like you guys. Like I remember every time you guys play Sploit, Sean's like predicting my title is gonna be Sploit versus his whole team. It works every single time. Like it gets 100, like a regular season game getting like 100,000 views plus, like because of that. I think that's a win, but like, you know, like it's just I have to force it, you know, so that's how we do it. You force those fucking crazy exaggerated narratives that like I want to grind my gears over, but honest to God, it's feeling more natural to me because like the less ball knowledge I have, like the more I like get stupider and stupider, like my brain rots more and more, like the more natural it becomes for me. I become one of the audience.
The next title is "My Team Won Another Major!" Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark! Big letters on.
Let's go.
I think he already has something like that.
Oh, he does. Okay.
No, not yet, not yet. I'm gonna make it though. I'll make something. I'll make something around the major.
We've taken some heat since coming back. We don't title the episodes and we don't do the thumbnails. I used to do all that stuff for the old show, but now, well, I mean, I didn't make the thumbnail, but I would get the thumbnail made. But we've even taken heat for like how like kind of like clickbaity and outrageous our titles are and compared to what they used to be. And it's like, that's just what this is. Like, we're in an information economy. Like, most people click off of your video within 20 to 30 seconds. Like, you need a hook right off the rip. You need a captivating thumbnail. You need a great title that like people want the answer to. It sucks, frankly. It's garbage. It's slop. But like, that's what you need to do to stay competitive. And it sucks. And it's like, you know, you watch a lot of streamers and it's like, if you're just a normal person streaming, you get called boring and resident sleeper because you're just normal. You need to be like an untrained monkey swinging from the trees in order to keep people captivated. And it's just like, I know Fett often refers to it as brain rot, but it's just like, to me, it's like I, as a 35-year-old man, don't find a lot of redeeming value, but clearly it works because the people who do that get millions of views, right? So it sucks, but like, that's just what you got to do. So
For the record, we don't make the fucking titles. I don't understand everyone that keeps going like,
I get so
I
mad
can't
at us.
believe Fett's making the title document again. I don't make the fucking titles. All right? It's not me.
You come up with good ideas though. You've had some good ideas that we should have.
Yeah, but I don't write them down, so they don't influence anything.
Every episode, Fett is like, oh, like, I want to get more involved with naming the episodes. And then every episode goes by and it's like, did you do it? And he's like, nope. If you guys have any suggestions for your show, by the way, if you want to name your own episode, the dumbest team in Rainbow Six just won a major. There you go.
No,
What about that?
no. We need to do the Brazilian style. We are now world champions. That's how the Brazilians do it.
I like the Brazilian saga.
No,
That's all
I think Fett had the most insane title recommendation to me ever. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think you were there, Kyle, where he's like, how the most unimpressive. What was it?
Ungifted.
How the most ungifted player won 2 majors.
Oh, there was more in there. But
What?
yeah.
Well, no, I was going off a Sethless saying.
How the dumbest ungifted player somehow won 2 majors by being lucky. That's like.
Then you need to start the video with Sean jumping out big tower on Oregon as smoke.
Oh,
That is a classic.
That's OG. Wow. Not many people know that reference, but on Sonics, I had made a play. I was on smoke, and I hopped out. It was white window in Oregon. Got a kill, died,
Got yours.
and that play did not go over well. You know, I thought I was making a good play. I was not. Like, wasn't a good play.
I would have kicked you on the spot.
I thought I was a genius. It is what it is.
Matt, what do you want your video to be named on now that we're on this topic, Matt? I'll let you guys name your own videos. How about that,
I
Matt?
don't
What's
know.
your
I'm
came
terrible
up
at
with-
that stuff.
Who came up with dog and meat? Was that also Seth?
That was
That was probably Kev, honestly.
Kev? How dog and meat became the best.
How dog and me became?
It's so fun as well to make fun of each other in warm-ups whenever. In the beginning, I used to call Matt all the time old and cold because he was terrible
Yup.
shooting back. Yeah, that's the classic.
Wait, you played DM with him and you
No,
fucking
I-
shit on him?
I've heard you're destroying in the TDMs. I
No,
heard you're
I-
running the show.
People
not-
gotta
I'm not
understand how
destroying, but-
bad the M80 warm up is because, dude, okay, we've had literal practices where a player will sit deafened until the map starts because they're so fucking mad over team deathmatch, and
Because of Kyno pumps?
No, we had because D can't stand getting shotgunned by Leo. It completely chalks him, and he'll get fucking pissed. Like, he will lose his
so
mind.
mad.
And
That's
then
just me.
Leo, like, here, I play shotgun. So he plays perma shotgun. And then Fabian sits with, like, an LMG in a bush. He will prone in a bush, and he will spray your body.
There was
then
this old lad.
And then Matt will get mad. He's like, I don't even understand how this is warming us up. So then Matt's chalk going in, or IGL's chalk going into practice. And then I remember specifically, I was on the team with Leo and someone else, and we made it a point. He goes, we should chalk Matt so that he has a stronger mental for the game. So he goes Ying shotgun, and
Teabagging his ass.
and they were teabagging him, and Matt's just fucking losing his mind. Like, dude,
Good
team
mental.
deathmatch for us, it's not
Yeah,
warm up,
it's
bro.
good
It's
mental
literally we just
practice.
hate
I
each
like
other. We
that.
just get pissed.
The worst thing is we have Kyno and Diffuser with $2,000 earbuds, and it's not even like gunfights. They just pre-fire you across the map every time. They just
So they're
sit.
worth it.
They camp, especially Kyno. He just sits in one spot.
Yeah,
He's the
and just
worst.
turrets with $2,000 earbuds. You can't sneak up on him. You
He's the
literally
absolute worst. It's
You might have to
so-
ask M80 for this.
Oh,
It's
I'm so-
infuriating.
I'm so glad it's a universal experience.
Nice.
Mm.
Oh, as
Yeah,
a
mold it
coach
to
to
my
piss off
ears.
Matt in a deathmatch.
and it's
Dude,
it's also funny because now we're 8 people, right? We all know that whichever team Pedro ends up in is going to be the losing team, and then it's like you have to carry Pedro dropping like 5 to 25, and everyone else has to have like life games, and then Pedro drops 10, and everyone's like, "Oh, Pedro, you're having a life game."
We
It's
are.
fun.
What's your timing at here? It's how
You
much?
have
How
us
much
for
more time do you
4
have?
more minutes. I
Okay.
can stretch you to 9 if you're
Okay.
kind and tell me compliments.
I tell you compliments all the time. We'll have to have you guys on subsequent shows. Now that we're starting to get into a little bit of the off season, more of the shows are going to focus on individual people. So we might have a topic where we bring like 2 or 3 people on. It's always nice to have return guests. I think Fabian's been on the show 4 times now, or 5 times on the show, something like that.
Yeah, it's 2.5K per show, so it's good money.
We've blown our complete budget. I don't even think the show's made that much money in the entire history of the show. So I mean, here we are. For you all, I want to give the 5 of you final words because you are the guests. Unless Fet or Min have something critical that they want to get in last. If not, just you can say your usual like thanks, or you can talk a little bit about the team, or you can talk about each other. But really, just like the floor is yours because this is a platform for you, after all.
Hype me up, Matt.
Gav-
Let's go.
Oh,
Hype me up. Matt's never won without me. Hype me up.
Sean never won without me. Actually, I did win 1 online major without you.
that is
You
not
know
a
we-
real
Damn.
major.
No,
That-
don't you take that away.
That one does not count
I
for
was
anything.
MVP.
Oh yeah, clearly doesn't count then, huh?
Wow.
I never won anything without any of you guys, so thanks, guys.
Yeah, kind of tragic, isn't it?
Yep, I was stuck on the casting couch back in Sweden with Parker.
Yeah, that was the SI that TSM won, and you were sitting there with, I think it was you and Yaga was there for a little bit
No.
too, wasn't he?
It was just me.
Well, Yaga,
I
I thought
I
Yaga
lost
stayed a
my-
day or 2
my
and then he
visa.
left, and it was just you hanging out with talent.
No, it was just me. They all left. I stayed because I lost my visa. I couldn't go anywhere, so I watched TSM win aside.
Yeah, he sat front row. We had an audience of like 4 people for that COVID SI, and Kyno was in the audience.
Yeah, but that essay doesn't count either. There was no audience, right? So it's not a real event. Like
Did
a
you
long
like
time
it?
since it's a long time since anyone won anything real, huh?
Fabian
Other than
talks
this
up-
team.
Fabian talks up a big game, but without Pedro on the roster, like he would actually be the biggest check stealer known to mankind.
That is true. I usually just
Agrees.
play War Thunder all practice and then call it a day.
We had to give them strikes because him and Pedro are playing
We're
tanks
playing tanks, bro.
during practice.
We,
Well,
not
isn't it?
just during practice.
No, it was like
wa-
right before a match.
there was so we have call time an hour before bans. And we were playing a game before that, and it was like 5 minutes past the time, and we were all sitting in Discord waiting. So there was nothing to do, and then they gave us a strike because we were 5 minutes late. Because
Yeah.
we were there, but we were playing a game together.
I think yesterday I realized how far I've come with my attitude because, dude, Leo clutched, and all I did was say like, "Let's go."
Never seen him do that ever
And-
in the
and-
scrim. Like,
And
he
like
was genuinely hyped.
my teammates were genuinely like baffled. Like I'm like let me find the word here. Like I was like a demon. I don't know a nice way to put it. Like
That's
they
a-
were
that's a-
like shocked that I hyped up. Like I got excited because he clutched, and I was like did I treat you guys that bad? Like there's no way. Like, it felt natural to me until then they made me feel bad. So I went back to like I'm not fucking hyping you up anymore. Fuck
Even
you.
the next round, I think Aiden killed someone, and then Sean was like, "Nice, Aiden," and then we're like, "Okay, stop. Now you're forcing it."
It was natural.
No way that was natural.
It was natural.
I
It's like
believe you.
it's the loudest hype up ever, just for like some random scrim round.
I was in a good mood.
That's good.
No, but I think, uh, no, yeah, no, I guess not a lot of people know about like the attitudes of pro players or like how that all goes. But like, yeah, I mean, I have nothing else to thank my teammates for. I've heard people get dropped for attitude issues, and like, there's probably times where it should have probably been me, and like, it's not an easy thing to work on when you subconsciously just like you don't realize how bad it is. But yeah, I would say for anyone aspiring to be a pro, check your attitude, dude, because I should not have had the amount of success I've had with how rude I was to people. So I love my teammates. They've made me a better and happier person.
How old are you now?
21.
It's only 21.
Yeah, exactly. You were a kid.
You
I
should have
think
seen the
everybody
first
was. I
week.
think every 17-year-old is a punk ass bitch. So like, you got everybody's got growing up to do. If you went back and you looked like, if I went back and looked at some of the things I'm sure I said when I was 17, I would punch myself. That's part of growing up. So I think it's good that I think it's really good that you guys have learned from that and grown, because you are role models to lots of people. Like, there are people who look up to you, and it's important that you put them on the right path.
Yeah.
I think once I'm gone from this game, Sean will be the best IGL in the game. He'll take the mantle.
I agree.
you
I think there's a point where Sean becomes like the vet
If
old.
he controls his emotions, though, surely that'll come with time, right?
Yeah.
Like 21.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, but I
Imagine him
actually
in like 3
think
years.
I don't think people actually understand the depth I can understand the game, because man, dude, I'll just be holding a spot. Gunnar's hiding again. All this guy does is rat,
The
and I'm just
Rat
playing
King.
the spot that's on the strat. Like,
It's all right,
yeah, I'm
Raticus.
telling you, bro. Sonic's tainted my fucking. Now I'm just an idiot that's rats, bro, for the end of time.
I mean, I
I just-
remember telling you, Kyle, when on Unwanted, like, we literally can't play the same as we did on Beast Coast with that roster.
Mhm.
Because Sean was a lot of like a good portion of those calls, and just honestly
Yeah.
that play style, because he just does whatever the fuck he wants most of the time.
No,
But-
100%.
Fuck yeah.
I just
Yeah,
remember,
there's a
Sean, the first week of practice back, or when we came back, well, after my honeymoon, and how angry you were at everyone all the time. It was kind of funny. As I had to interrupt so many times when you would start going off at someone, or I remember one time when you and Matt were going off at each other, and I had to tell you both to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Those were the days.
then we still-
Those were the days.
we
And you still
kept going.
continue. Yeah, and then I screamed it. I screamed it one more time, and then both of you were just like complete silence.
You got
Yeah.
2 minutes left. You got 2 minutes left. Last question for you all,
Yeah,
because the next thing that's coming up is the NA League. Do you win the NA League? If not, who do you think is the best shot?
Gav,
Probably
you
for,
go
like,
on.
NAL finals.
The finals.
Yeah, the one that's coming up in like a week or 2 or 2 weeks or whatever, however long it is. Do you
Like,
guys win it? And if not, who does? Who do you think is the best shot
We
if it's not
lose
you?
to OXG and they beat it. They win.
If we win the NA League, NA has a lot of looking at themselves to do, because I mean, we didn't prepare for this event. Like, we're going straight for invite, so we're going to go in hopes that we break hearts, and I think it'd be the funniest shit ever if we won, because everyone else is just fucking terrible. I think we're gonna win. If we don't, I would honestly say probably SSG. They just somehow win NA stuff a lot. So yeah, probably SSG. If it's not us.
Kyno.
Thoughts?
I'm just gonna run through all of you. Kyno.
Well, hopefully we win, right?
Very confidence driven, that, huh?
Yeah, I'm complacent, so like probably won't. Cause yeah, complacency
will?
hits, but
Then who wins, Kyno?
I mean SSG always finds a way, right? They always do. They always find a way.
Houghton?
I don't think SSG's winning. I mean, if we don't win, it's gonna be. I'm gonna go with DZ. They've had a lot of time.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of time.
Wow.
Rival DZ rival.
I mean, they did just pick up a new player, but you
Yeah,
know,
they
sometimes
lose Robbie.
they'll hit that honeymoon phase, and maybe this is it for them. You know,
They lost Robbie.
Or the
Okay.
wheels fall off.
maybe
Not
they'll
hurt.
actually put Zach on shields every round. Who knows?
Gavin.
Well,
Yeah, OXG beats us, we lose, and then they win. Simple as. OXG are winning. it.
Simple analyst.
Simple as. Yeah. Nothing else to
Adam-
say. I mean, it's
Adam's
written,
dropping
it's written in the
20.
books. Yeah. It's written in the stars. OXG wins. We lose to those guys.
And in typical fashion, last word goes to Fabian.
No, I genuinely hope we lose to OXG and then that we go straight out so that I don't have to fly to Philly for 3 days. Now, unfortunately for us, we are going to win it, so I'm going to have to fly out just because everyone else is just not as good as we are. Even if we don't go in with prep and we're not going to prep for the games because to us that's not the important part. We're going to see this match experience, and unfortunately, we're too good to give it to the rest. So I don't know. I just don't think anyone else will stand a chance against us.
Well, you win a major on international soil, and now you get to go to Philadelphia and play in front of a crowd at a live audience here in North
Of
America.
5
And
people.
sorry,
Of 5 people.
I'm sure they sold at least double that. So
Great.
I'm certain. I'm
close
fairly
there.
certain.
I might
That place
roll
is
up.
pretty small. That place is pretty. I played
I'll- yeah,
the
I'll-
NSG
I'll
field
follow
in
it.
there. There was like 20 chairs.
That's Kyle's hometown.
yeah. I
You
might
guys know
roll
the
up.
casters aren't going. Everybody but the casters are going.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Host
Really? That's
desk,
fire.
host desk, players, production
That's
is on
hilarious.
site, audience. Fed is going.
Aren't
I'm
they
not
flying-
going.
Aren't they flying out 2 tier 2 teams as well?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
for
big
Element.
reason why we're not going is because 3 of the 4 NA League casters require visas, and that is very expensive right now. Like we're talking like 5 to 10 grand per, for just like a
Wouldn't
3-day
I
event.
require a visa too then?
I have no idea. I don't know the legality of it.
Guys, there's a chance. Yes.
Why don't you anyway, we've run 2 minutes over time. I just want to say congratulations again on your victory. It is a momentous moment in Munich, and it's great to hear all of you come on. Please again do extend our well wishes to Diffuser, who's a little bit under the weather. Hopefully we'll have him on in a future show. And if you guys win again, we'll have you on again because we want to have the winner of everything on. So
Yay.
there you go. On behalf of Last Free Nation, our sponsors, Fet, Mint, and myself, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you for the next episode next week.